And we're here, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for tuning in to our live stream. We're going to be catching the Sydney Derby. Donnie, which one is this one? What number are we on? We have to
24, if I remember
24.
correctly.
We're up to Sydney Derby number the 24 Sydney Derby, and we already got GWS Giants fan 123 in the chat. What's up, buddy? Let's go Giants. Even it's a damn shame that Canelio is not going to be joining us today with soreness, but we might. Let's be honest with ourselves. It's probably going to be a close game, but probably wasn't going to be a 4.1 for the Giants anyway. So, well, at least we might be able to see something great. Who knows? We'll see who can step up in there. It is pretty annoying, especially with him being out with soreness. Obviously, I'm not going to hold that against him because, I feel like it's a legitimate injury. I don't think Canelo is the type of guy to fake something like that. It'd be stupid anyway. But, I'm kind of annoyed by that, but thanks for asking how we're going. I am just super excited for first bounce for the Derby because even when the Giants lose, it's still almost always a really, really exciting game. And Donnie's probably going to be a happy Swans fan over here with their chase to the four. How you doing tonight, man?
It'll be interesting. This is the game that many Swan supporters sit here and go, this is the proverbial trap game. Like I know a lot of American sports fans will know that term quite well. It's the game where you're supposed to win.
Yep.
There's no way you should lose, but if you take them lightly, they can nip you. So this is the game that many Swans fans like the North game and like Adelaide last week, where it's like you look at it and you go, ooh, you just hope they have a good performance, because if they drop one, it really hurts, because it takes away opportunities to maybe be further up the ladder with the favorable draw that you look at. But it'll be fascinating to see. But I'm really intrigued, considering we're hopping on the live stream early a little bit here, because Port Adelaide and Collingwood are just about to get going. So I'm super excited for this one, because I'm the only one in our tipping competition that tips Port Adelaide.
Yeah.
I went on a limb for this, and conveniently, how does this game start? There's a free kick for Port Adelaide in the 50.
That's
Gotta be
incredible.
kidding.
That's
The
incredible. No
clock
way.
hasn't even started yet.
No
They've already got a free
way.
kick.
How the
I
hell did
kid
that
you not.
even
Travis
happen?
Boak's got one at like 35 meters. This is insane right now. What a start. Oh
Well,
my
that's certainly one way to start the
gosh.
game. Jeez, dude. Come
And
on.
the clock hasn't even started. The game has not started yet. If you look at, it says
I've
first
never
quarter. The
seen this
game has
happen
not
before.
started yet. I've never seen it
Oh,
to start a
but
game.
oh,
It's coming
oh, it
back.
came back. Damn. Well,
What a
well,
start.
well, that's certainly a way to start off the
Oh,
game.
geez. Is that what they call giving you a 6 point starter? Yeah, and now we got a little push and shove here. It's
Ain't
always
nothing wrong
nice.
with that.
Yeah. A few people getting in each other's grills. Always nice.
You gotta set the tone of the game early. Also, I think this
So
might
what
be
happened?
a
I
game
want to see
between
how
the
this free kick
two.
happens.
Is this a game
Who
between
gave
two of
him
the tallest
he
people in
gave
the
him a
league?
shot in the kidneys. Wow.
Uh, yeah. Eh, okay. I letter of the law. Yeah, yeah, that's fine.
So they did run 6 seconds off the clock. Okay.
Well, well, 6 seconds. it's it's quite the start for Port there.
Holding Port Adelaide free kick. The only thing with that though is it lets Port Adelaide set up their defense.
I do like they're not the bars unfortunately, but I do like this kind of this
The
jumper
teals.
from Port with those grays. Yeah.
Yeah, with the gray, not
I
the
think
football.
I think I think GWS might be rocking the charcoal tonight, so I'm pretty excited about
They
that
like
one
wearing the charcoal when
in the
they
Derby.
like playing wearing the char yeah, they like wearing the charcoal when they play the Swans. So that doesn't surprise me.
Yeah,
And if I actually saw right, I think the women are going to be wearing the charcoals this year, which is kind of cool.
full time or like how the
I
Giants
don't
do.
think full time, but they'll definitely have them as an option, which is something that they haven't. They've always had the
Hmm.
orange charcoal and gray
Am I weird for
unis.
them wanting
So
to bring back those whites?
they
They're
weren't
they're
bad.
not
They weren't
bad.
bad,
I is
but
that gonna be our retro
they're
round jumper?
maybe interesting. Alira's got
Got
the
the
job on
sleeves.
Mason Cox right now.
Oh yeah, yeah. Now that's one of the things I'm excited to see. Two of the tallest people I've ever seen play sports. You know, not including NBA because they're all freaks.
Oh boy,
Um, oh, wow. A little handball action.
handball in the pressure.
Yeah. So Donnie, also drop in the chat, you guys too. Over under on Mason Cox kicking 20 goals today. I'm gonna take the over.
Oh boy,
What I have
we're off to a
there's
flyer already.
there of course there's no need to doubt the greatest American and American Australian footy player of all time.
Yep,
There's
holding the ball.
I was able to get that one out early today. I love it.
Yep.
If you guys tune in to our weekly breakdowns, you'll know that I have to at least get that in once around. If I do not, then it's not. Then the show might as well not even happen.
It's not a good show unless we get that in at least once, right?
Is it really an NFL breakdown if I'm not talking about the greatest American and American Australian football player of all time, and you don't go on a rant about something that's perfectly reasonable? It's not.
It's like our shows wouldn't be complete if we didn't have those two elements.
No, those are like the bare minimum of what we need.
Very just unorganized start to this game right now. Neither team is Collingwood can't hit a target. Port Adelaide can't get it out of their back end, but neither team are playing super well for this first few minutes of this game.
I need to do that actually, you guys.
That's not good. Don't want to see him grimacing.
Go ahead, get that box up. Stream might be a little janky for you guys for
Oh
just a
boy.
second. Don't worry about it.
Good decision. That's not deliberate. He's inside the sign nine. Always my favorite when I see fans scream about something and it's like, oh my gosh, seriously, learn the rules. He's inside the tackle box and there's tackle pressure. That is a rushed behind because there's tackle pressure from Elliott. That is completely legal. So the people screaming that that should be intentional are ridiculous and don't know the rules. That annoys the crud out of me. It's like the people that yell ball when a guy grabs the ball and gets tackled. I'm like, why? Why do you yell ball? It's nowhere close to it. Why are you wasting the time? It just annoys me. It really does. I'm like, come on. I'm like,
That's a very fair
you
thing to be
know the
annoyed by.
rules. You know the rules. You know them good enough to know that that's not what you're yelling about. Why are you doing that? You just look foolish doing it. I'm just like, come on. It's very interesting to see how Finlayson handles the twin towers of Cameron and Cox here, because I know they've been flinging Dixon in up a little bit. We'll have to see how that handles it. The both of them have been rotating as that resting ruckman when that resting ruckman forward when they're not rucking. So it'll be very interesting to see how that goes.
Hmm.
Lysette's still out with a shoulder injury, and Tickle, their mid-season draft guy, broke his collarbone. I think he's still like a week away. So they really don't have they kind of have to go with Finlayson and Dixon right now as kind of your rotational full forward Resting Rock.
Broken collarbones are not a fun thing to deal with. I'll tell you guys that much.
Yeah, the funniest part about that broken collarbone is that he's the one that laid the hit that broke his own collarbone.
You know what?
That
That's
that
also not
that
something
happened in
I
the
am
Sydney game.
uncommon with either. That's exactly how I broke mine when I was playing football.
Yep, that happened in the Sydney game. He went for a bump on Justin McInerney and actually broke his own collarbone in the process.
Man, I can sympathize with that. It's it's not great.
That's a hell of a mark.
Okay. Now, let's go ahead. Get that. Go for you guys. All right. Got the scoreboard up so we can actually follow in real time. There we go. I need to do that earlier, but there we go. Better late than never. All right. Let's see what we got here. Elliott, the hero from last week, can he get the
Yep,
first goal of the game
and
for
probably
Collingwood?
a lot easier angled kick.
Yeah, it's hard to deny
That's one
that,
of
but
that's
he
one of
nails it
those
nonetheless.
that's one of those very simple ones that sometimes you can stuff up because you overthink it.
You mean like what Essendon did against Collingwood last round? Except that was even better of an angle.
I was directly in front.
Yeah. Also, Donnie, I see that's a very nice member cap you got rocking there. Feel free to turn the head. Well, we've got the 2022 member. Okay. Hard flex. Captain, welcome in, my
uh,
man. It's going well. We're having a great time here. I mean, weird start to the Collingwood Port Adelaide game, but it's always exciting. How you doing tonight, man? Who you got?
Taking a goal and then taking trash off the field. That's always a good. That's a good Samaritan there.
Hero. Do
Ah, that's funny. I
they
just
do
look
they
at
got a
look
version
up
of
all of it.
the Walter Payton Man of the Year award there in the AFL?
Uh, I think they usually name it kind of almost the best and fairest is a lot like that. Unlike
Gotcha.
unlike here in the States where it's like if you get suspended, you can't win the Brownlow. So the Brownlow kind of is kind of that nice little you play well and you're decent. Your opponent. Oh.
Collingwood due for a loss.
So
Yeah, they probably been due for like how long's their win streak? 9 games. Probably been due for one. Not for 9 games now,
no,
but
the
you know.
last their last the last 3 games they've definitely.
Oh,
Yep, that's good.
oh, that's a good recovery, man. Yeah, I mean, shoot, they definitely are prime for one. But knowing Collingwood, they're going to win this game by. I'll go with a 5 point margin over Port. It's almost remarkable just how
Well, the only
little
the only thing
Collingwood
that's
wins
really
by.
interesting about this last little run over these last 3 or 4 games is that they're playing close with teams that they should like
No,
ladder position wise
non-final
they
teams.
shouldn't.
Yeah.
It'll be very interesting to see it as their schedule gets more difficult because the next 3 games after this one are they get increasingly more difficult.
hmm And something
It'll be
we've talked about
fascinating to
too,
see.
even with Port not necessarily being, the Port spot on the ladder is not necessarily indicative to the quality of a team they are. Obviously that 0
I
5
agree.
start damned them from the beginning, but this is a lot better team than the ladder. This is actually a good test for Collingwood, a way better test than what they've seen
Hmm.
recently too. So that's why I was really looking forward to this one. And also, man, I'm torn. I wonder what the NFL would be like. I don't know if you guys know, but obviously NFL is I play college ball. I'm a big NFL guy, so that's my first sport here. Also, some fantastic defense there. Except when he kicks it right back to Port, and they
Well,
put it through the
that's
middle.
defensive. That's defensive pressure.
Oh,
The tackle pressure forces a bad kick by Dacos. Finlayson gets it and buries it. So that shows you offensive the tackle pressure by the forwards. If you can tackle and force defenders to kick it quickly where they don't have time to set themselves, that's what
I
happens.
mean, you could. He was trying to get
Finlayson
that ball
Finlayson
along the
gets a nice
sideline too.
yep. Well, the tackle kind of threw off the kick, so it went off the inside of the
Hmm.
boot. That's why it went straight to Finlay. I mean, look at Marshall here.
That's good.
He could give up on that play, but he doesn't. And then Finlayson with enough composure to be able to slot this. I mean, by a coat of paint, he gets it through, but he
Hey,
did.
man, heck of a play
So, but
there.
that's one of those. If you're Finlayson, you walk over and you give a high five to Marshall, because Marshall's one of the reasons that goal happened. Because if he doesn't put tackle pressure, that goes right down the line, and who
Hmm.
knows what happened. So
Man, that almost reminds
so
me of
Finlayson gets the goal, but that's really that's Marshall's earn there.
that reminds me of just how similar it is to like a peak Richmond team where it's just points off of turnovers. And
Well, and theirs was chaos footy because of the pressure.
yeah.
Like they didn't mind it being on
Oh,
the
that
ground.
heck of
Like
a
that was
bounce
the
there to
biggest
keep
thing
it
there.
in.
What a bounce!
Wow.
And
Okay.
a great
That's a
kick.
very,
Great
very
kick.
great bounce report. And yeah, the close games that Collingwood's in are very finals like. Yeah, that's a good point. It is pretty good practice there. And at least I'm trying to. Uh, I mean, unless it's Port in the
Well,
preliminary finals, it'll be
their
close.
finals their finals like in some way because of the atmosphere and the way they're kind of played. The problem is that the team they're playing and over the last 3 or 4 weeks are not finals teams.
No.
So it's like you're playing a final style game against a team that's going to be nowhere near the finals. So it's like it may seem like it. Um, yeah, it really I'm not sure if I'm 100% going to follow the fight. It's been like finals like, because I mean some of the teams they've been playing are not finals
Ooh.
teams. He put it through. He
Wow. That
made the goal umpire work. Well, I think it's a little bit of the angle that we saw the camera
yeah.
from
The
probably
camera angle
didn't show
screwed
it.
us. So the broadcast angle, it looked like he shanked
It
it.
throws you on. If you look at it just right, the camera angle can throw you off a little bit. So, but this is what can happen sometimes on the rebound.
Man, that's some
Marshall
clean
just
kicking
he
from Port so far.
well, the biggest, yep, that's just a cruel bounce there, and
That's
then a great
right.
play.
Oh
That's
man,
and then the find to find Wines in the middle of the in towards the corridor to open up the field, and then Dixon's field kicking. I mean, this is a really good kick too. I mean, he gets a little bit lucky that Howe misses on the spoil attempt,
mm-hmm.
but I mean that's a great kick. He hits Marshall where Marshall can high point it. Howe just misses it. So
There we go, Cox. There we go.
oh, that's cruel.
Even worse. This is a
Uh,
cursed game for Collingwood already, from the very first free kick. Oh man. Captain also says that I mean, obviously we're still super torn between for the battle for the 8 between St Kilda, Richmond, and the Doggies. Points wise, yeah, they're still all super in. If I had to put money on it, I would go for the Bulldogs at this point, just because I mean points wise they're all pretty similar, but I feel like the Doggies are catching heat at the right time. Um, and also I just don't like the look of how Richmond's been the last few rounds, and St Kilda is probably the best team at being inconsistent in the league. So I I don't want to hold confidence in them for anything.
Well, plain and simply, if you just look at it, Duggies are probably going to be the one that would be the do the most damage in the finals if they make it,
Mm-hmm.
because St Kilda's inconsistency, I think, may actually hurt them a lot. The Duggies, their style of play, that handball run and gun style, may work, and it works in the finals. I mean, we know it. They made a couple of runs to the granny from the non-strength end of the bottom four of the finals. So they're in with a shot. The biggest, I think, the $1 million question for them is can they survive this little run of tough games? I mean, I don't think many people expected them to beat the D. So there's 4 points they weren't expecting, and they do have a couple of winnable games towards the
Mm-hmm.
end of their schedule. And I mean, this is massive. This is massive here, because can Port put themselves in the talk with a win here? That's the biggest thing. Because for me this is a danger team for the Pies, because this is a team that could play finals, that just they had a bad start to the season, and they paid for it ever since. So this is the game I want to see. Can Collingwood win this one? Because their next 3 opponents after this are all teams that are going to play in the finals. So like legitimately, this is your appetizer for your finals teams that you're going to get for the final 3 games of the season. So if you're Collingwood, you got to win this one because you're facing down 3 games after this that you're playing much better competition. So it'll be fascinating to see how Collingwood handles this because if Port comes out and wins this one, you may as the Pies you may be coming into the finals with 4 losses consecutively potentially.
Yeah, I mean that's really not a stretch, and for Port here, they probably still have to win out at the least.
Oh no, we thought about it too. Carl Amon, who
Smart.
mostly who by rumors I'm sound it sounds like he will find himself playing in Victoria next year.
Ooh.
So there's he's one of the hot commodity free agents now that Angus Brayshaw, Jackson sounds like they've got a home that's just figuring everything out. So Carl Amon is the looking to be what could be the most sought after free agent. Is it St. Kilda, Hawthorne, and a couple of Victorian clubs are all looking at him as being that outside running wingman, sometimes shift in midfield, halfback flanker type of player that I mean seems to be dominating the league nowadays. That winger halfback flank type of player. So
Heck of a start for
oh
Port.
yeah,
I
I don't
like
know
that
if you
man.
saw this. Have you been checking any of Swan's Twitter or Swan's Facebook today?
No, are you guys freaking out about something?
We're freaking out because some numpty put pictures of Chad Warner fully in the buff out
Ah,
on the internet. Yeah,
that's maybe it's a good thing I didn't see anything there.
I haven't seen any pictures. All I know is
You see the
a couple
reaction?
of a Twitter account armchair commentary who I know knows I'm a huge Swans fan because like literally this morning was like, have you seen this? And it was a basically an article about how Chad nudes of Chad Warner had been leaked on the internet.
Ah,
Yep.
keep those stuff out for camera rolls, ladies and gentlemen. Oh
Yeah.
man.
Yep. So that was yeah. So that was an interesting yep. Star Swan star in nude scandal is literally the tweet. Yep.
Nude
So
scandal. All right.
yeah.
Come on. Ah.
Drifting right. You can kind of tell sometimes with the angle. You can kind of tell sometimes which way it's going to go by by how the way the camera moves too. And
Mm,
that one you could kind of feel was moving right most of the time.
yeah.
Oh boy, that was close.
Oh,
He
playing with
found
fire
it.
there for a second.
Took him a while, but he found it. And then he buggers it up down the line.
Ooh, heck of a boot and spoiled. Port really going in on the handballs today. Looking good though.
Well, sometimes when you get a pressure team, sometimes the handballs are a good way to get them out. But if you problem is if you stuff them, the problem is if you stuff them up, then it can really hurt you too. So
Mm-hmm.
that's the biggest thing on that one.
See what we got.
So
We got
do, do.
a few minutes until the derby
Yep,
starts.
I just switched over to the derby coverage on my main one.
Let me know when we get.
Don't tell me
Uh,
more than 2 people are on my account. Dang it. Device limit exceeded. Well, I'm going to keep going until they get kicked off because this is my dang thing. Damn it.
Is it going to be me?
Well, I've got it on both my iPod and my phone and my iPad because I'm
Mm.
going to keep an eye on the port. I'm keeping the port game on because I don't want to miss it because it's too good a game. It's too good a game not to keep an eye on.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, I'll probably be going 1-2 a lot. I'll be
Oh yeah.
poking at it to see the score and where the ball is
Okay.
more than because the Swans game is one of those because it's starting a little bit later. We should see the end of that game before this one, before the Swannies Giants game ends. But it is kind of one of those where it's like I don't want to sit here and watch it too fully
Yeah.
and miss
Captain,
something in the Derby. So
Captain really pulling for Port here. Is this your team? Yeah, so Donnie over there, obviously he's a Swans fan. I'm a GWS fan, unfortunately. But is what it is. I picked
that's the
wrong.
reason. That's the reason why we usually do the live stream for the Sydney Derby, because it's us. It's us usually taking the piss out of each other.
Oh
So
yeah, who's your every team captain? Richmond. Okay, he's a Tigers fan. Gotcha. Yeah, probably not the best of seasons to be watching right now, especially after that.
you're
North
keeping an
game.
eye on the chat. Ask him. Do you believe that Brisbane will get the hoodoo of the MCG? Are you confident going into tomorrow, or are you worried that Brizzy could get you tomorrow?
Oh. Should I switch on over to the Sydney and GWS game?
They're doing a coin toss right now, so no massive rush.
Okay. Well, I'll just keep it on Collingwood then. See what we got here. This
There
has
we go.
been a very fun start, though.
There is been. Oh my gosh! There's
You
been so
okay?
much of this. Jeez.
You okay, my man?
I'll be fine. I'll be fine.
What got you going like that?
Pop and top again. I'm just kidding.
Okay.
Another one? Oh my gosh!
I'm not even
So
on Twitter right now.
Boak's gonna get a free kick
I think I could already
at
see
like
what,
8 meters out. So
I think Donnie, I don't know about you, but I can kind of tell what the Collingwood Twitter looks like right about now, what they're tweeting about.
well, if they're smart, they're not freaking out too much because they're getting Port Adelaide right where they want them.
Yeah, I
I
was
mean,
pretty surprised.
it was like Sydney there at the early part of the season. I was like, I didn't mind them going down 20-25 because I'm like, the way they came back in the second half, they were always a team that it was like, no need to freak out because they always have that 25 point run in them to get back in a game. So
Yeah, yeah, Captain. I was pretty surprised when I saw the odds there that Richmond was the favorites actually going to this one, but then Danya informed me that it's been like what 8 years technically. I mean 6 playing years since Brisbane won the MCG.
I think it's 9, but
9.
you got to remember you got to take 2 years out where Brisbane didn't go at all to the MCG at all.
Yep.
Here we go. Well, that was a shit bounce.
Right. Okay, we're going around
Took
that
him
back.
forever to bring it
Okay.
back. My gosh,
Okay.
was like he let that bounce go forever before he finally blew it back. That took forever.
Okay, just throw it up. There we go. Perfect. All right, we're
Well,
on the way for the Derby.
there's some people that think they should just throw it up every time.
But where's the fun in that? A bounce is cool. It's
Yeah,
unique.
because the bounce is more unpredictable. So, well, it's more unpredictable, so it's a lot harder to play off of. Where it's where the toss up is a lot more like you know exactly where it's going. So, hello, it's gonna be crash bash for these first few minutes here.
It is impossible for me to on my phone to type the hashtag big sound without spelling with a P in the word sound. My fat fingers always manage to hit that key.
That's all right.
Oh.
I was trying to type tweet. I was trying to write team earlier today, going it back and forth with a friend of mine. And I kept putting tram. So,
Oh.
so I
Look at
had a
that
friend,
mark.
nice mark by Proust there.
Okay. A couple good marks to start us off, and that wasn't as impressive a mark, but there's just a great kick there. Are we just going to kick Mark Sidney to death?
Well, you did see the fact that your young early round draft pick Lee Lear is making his debut today, right?
Yes, I did, and I'm super excited. Actually, I'm really excited to see how they manage him. But from way back when we're talking about the draft, man, I was super stoked on Elite. So I want to see how this goes. We'll see if the Giants can start scoring. And beauty, beauty.
Yep.
There we go. Fantastic start. Let's go, boys. There's hope. You're giving me hope. It might be false hope. I don't care. It's still hope. Let's go, boys. Let's freaking go. I'm okay with that, Donnie. Just kick Mark down the. I mean, what was that? That was 3 to get into the 50.
Mm-hmm.
That's not bad.
Yep.
Captain's cousin's a City supporter. Sure, they're having a great time right now. Well, maybe not right now. Maybe just for the season. For the season, they're having a good time. Dude, I think this season, Himmy's really kind of grown on me as one of my favorite guys in the league, at least on the Giants.
He's been your utility guy. He's had to go back to help out because of some of your defensive issues, some of your issues with defensive injuries. So really, he's kind of been your great little utility guy, and it really's kind of helped you out here. So
Oh, come on, get that, boys. And that one's out.
out on the
Oh,
full,
yeah, they're
out
calling
on the
out.
full.
Damn. Thought there was hope for a second. They might have made the bad call. Good mark. I like. At least a real solid attempt to pressure there.
Whoops, wrong one. Wrong one.
Oh, oh,
That's not good.
get that one in there. Get that one in there. Yes. Okay, boys. Take your time. Take your time. I think Jesse might be able to fit into a list of maybe some guys that aren't maybe talked about enough in terms of the value they provide. Or am I just being a
Oh,
homer
he's
with that
he's
one?
he's well he no he's it just the Fremantle experiment just did not work.
Ah,
Plain and simply,
well, that
it
kick
just
could have
did
been a
not
little
work.
better, but it's okay. It's
It did
okay,
not
Jesse. I
work.
still
It did
love you.
not work for him. He's found himself a little home. The issue he's running into is he keeps having either injury issues or just form issues. So I
Mm-hmm.
think that's the biggest thing is he actually has been played quite well for GWS. And remember, I was talking about how the thing just kind of randomly has a brain fade. It just did it, and like went right back to the Himmelberg goal. I was like, what the heck?
Hey, it's so nice you
It's like
guys see it
right after
twice, Donnie.
Rampy marked that ball. It was like all of a sudden it was like Himmelberg again after the goal. I was like, what the heck?
Ooh, I love.
That was a lace out.
I'm enjoying the marks Giants are grabbing inside the round 50. Also, Donnie, we've talked about it a couple times this year. Captain, just wondering your thoughts on the Dusty to Sydney rumors.
A waste of time. They're not true. Tom Harley's already poo-pooed all over them. I'm tired of talking about it. He's not coming up there. Like I've said, I think he stays in Richmond. I think the Swans are very happy getting Buddy re-signed, keeping their youngsters there. I don't. I think this is people trying to make a mountain out of a molehill. If
Didn't
I'm
Hardwick just say
100% honest.
that Dusty's there for another 2 years? Was that his
He's
comments?
still got 2 years. He still has 2 years left on his contract.
Yeah.
So yeah. So it's like that's kind of the whole discussion in and of itself doesn't make any sense. So
Yeah. Is that one out? Yeah. Is that going to be a throw in? Oh, yeah. It is.
yep, because he didn't mark it.
Yep. Damn. Come on, boys. Get that lead. Ooh. Waiting for Lear to get his first intercept mark. The one thing he was so damn good at the what was it, the VFL where he
Sample,
dominated.
because he played in the sample as an underager,
Sample.
as
Thank
a.
you.
Yep.
Was it the VFL, the waffle, and the sample? Right.
Yep.
Cool.
Yep, there was at the time the NEFL, the Northeast Football League, which was Queensland and New South Wales together, but
What happened to
that
that?
kind of fell up. Well, it kind of fell apart because Brisbane Gold Coast, Sydney, and GWS decided to join the VFL to give them more.
Mm. Okay.
So
All right. Sydney gets their first shot on goal today.
yep. Well, not 100%. I won't 100% put that in. Normally 99.95% likely he probably slots this. He's been pretty accurate this year. He had the yips there for about a 4 week run there that he had the yips in front of goal, but
Mm-hmm.
he's kind of stabilized himself. So you would bank on this going home.
And you are right. All right.
Yep.
All right.
So,
GW still has the lead. We're good, boys. We're good.
yep.
Man, Don, what
And it
was the stat you were saying
annoyed
that
me because I had
it's either the Giants win by like 4 or Sydney wins by 20 plus?
if the Giants win the game, it's usually by less than a goal. If Sydney would in the last 6 games, it's been GWS winning by under a goal or Sydney winning by 20 or more. So yep, that's the way and the thing is they've gone back and forth. Geelong is GWS won the first round the first time they played last year in that close game where Kelly kicks the goal late. And Sydney gets you up in Queensland because of the COVID issues, and then you guys win the fight, and then GWS wins the finals game by under a goal down in Tassie. So, and Sydney had won the previous year before last season by over 20 at home. So it just kind of shows you the way this has been. So
And
the
even when
crazy thing was
Sydney
is they
takes by
put him
20, it's
the
still a
crazy
fun
thing
game.
about Robbie Fox. Yeah, the craziest thing about Robbie Fox, their number 42 for Sydney, is the fact he was they category B rookied him. So and they tried to cut him. So it was like it's just crazy to see him be as successful as he has been on the team because it's like I mean they wanted to let him go and he's come in since the
Ooh, way to
injury
fill
to a
that ball
Reardon.
in. Yeah, that is a badass story, actually.
So so the fact that he's playing so well is something kind of cool. So GWS is trying to do the switch. The problem is that kick stuffed it.
Yeah.
They got a better bounce though. That'll somewhat help them
I
because
thought it was just
that
going to go
bounce is
straight out.
evil on McInerney. If that ball bounces just a little bit differently, McInerney turns and they're on their way with Buddy running forward. That could have been dangerous there where that ball was put. So that
That's certainly the
kind of
place
a
where I
somewhat
would
of a
like the
win for
least to
GWS
see
there.
you, buddy.
Well, especially considering McInerney when he wants to can be a dead eye dick. He can hit a lot of targets even on the run.
Dude's it's just Buddy Franklin, man. He
The
does
Armati
everything good.
party.
Well, he does everything well. Still think he is the best in the league when it comes to rocking the high socks.
Interesting matchup there. The Toby Green matchup is taken by Dane Rampy.
Yeah, what do you think about that one?
It's interesting. I would have thought Robbie Fox would have gotten it because Fox has got a little bit more pace.
Mm-hmm.
Rampy is more of the physicality type of defender, but he is very he is very one of those. He's deceptively quick. He's not as fast as he was, but he's deceptively quick, and he's very smart when it comes to it. So he's one of those defenders that should be a drag in holding the footy.
Yeah,
He dragged it in.
yeah, doesn't need to be.
It's iffy. I don't like that particular call, but I understand why it was brought in because guys were dragging it in to keep the footy from the other team getting the ball and making a run the other way.
Well, he's about
So I
second,
understand
too.
the call. It's so harsh because sometimes you don't want the ball to get away and you don't think about it. And then as soon as you bring it in, everybody in the other team is going to hold your arm and the ball against you to be sure that you can't do anything with it.
Did he get his fingers on
One.
that? No, I think he just missed.
It would have went for a behind no matter if they touched it or not. It was out to the right, so
Yeah. It
7
looked for a second like the ball might have gotten tipped.
Well, even if it was tipped, it was going through for behind either way. That's one of those no need to punch. The only thing you want to punch, the only reason you would punch is you would punch it back to be sure it goes through because the issue you run into, and that should be holding the ball.
They're gonna give it.
You feel bad for Callum Brown there because the kick is what SOL'd him there.
Yeah.
But he had a prior opportunity and he missed the tackle. So that's a tough one. That's a tough one. That's a great tackle by Papley there. Callum Brown got left out to dry.
Oh, did he bang that one through?
Did that go through for a goal?
Papley.
OMG, he did.
Wow. Dude.
He's coming of age. It will not shock me if he gets himself an All-Australian Blazer at the end of the year because he has been absolutely electric these last 3 weeks.
Dude, if not this year, it's
what was it? The previous 3 weeks, he led the entire AFL in score involvement.
Yeah, he's been putting up some ridiculous numbers in that.
And that's crazy. The footy went further than his shoe went farther than the footy. The thing that Isaac Heaney throws his foot out of bounds, but his shoe comes off.
Oh, that's great.
The guy in the front row with the red shirt, look, it's his shoe.
I still think one of the best duos in one of my favorite duos to watch in the league, is Heaney and Papley.
They're an interesting pair because they are kind of lightning and thunder there for a bit.
All right.
Because you have the lightning quick the quickness of Papley and his speed and ability around the footy, and you have Franklin that is power personified. Here comes Lance.
Are they going to call that one
intentional? They may. Nope, they don't. Oh. Well, it's not deliberate. It's the opportunity. It's the insufficient attempt. I was like, I know the words. Insufficient attempt to keep the footy in, which again, it's a little suspect because there are times that they call it that it is not even close to right.
That's for sure a great rule.
Honestly, that they were not even going for the boundary. It just happened to go there.
One off his boot. But also, okay, handful. Cool.
That's somewhat a positive though. That's somewhat because now it's deep. Ooh, and the best part is you can set your defense there. So
AJ returned to the chat. Said how good were the D's last night? The D's looked like the team
that was the Premiership D's there.
Yes, it was. Oh.
That was the Premiership D's. That's the Demons that can win can win the Premiership. Yeah, he didn't get the full hook on it. It pretty much went straight across goal. So
was it?
You can always tell. Watch the goal.
The D's are pretty damn dominant last night, but Captain might be on. We might be in the green, so it wasn't that great of a game to watch.
No, it was.
Unless you're a D's
fan. Little bit of the. It's a little bit of the conditions too. The conditions were not exactly the most apropos for a game like that. So,
hey, help
the D's out, it's also I don't know if it really helped the D's. I think the D's capitalized on the conditions a little bit, and they played much more of their style of footy.
Hmm.
Again, is it how they're going to play the rest of the season? We'll have to see, because again, that's kind of the way they've been
I
this
really
year.
did
They've
not
been
like that.
they've been inconsistent.
Okay. Well, that worked out even though it really should not have. And now we're going to get the greatest footy
Is
player of all
Toby
time,
going to go
Toby
for it? I think he's
Green.
going to go for it.
Let's go, baby. The man that has never done anything wrong to an umpire in his life.
Gonna hold my tongue. Gonna hold my tongue.
The biggest
Sorry,
scapegoat the AFL's ever seen.
there's a Western bulldog that still may have a cleat mark on his face that would probably argue with you there.
There we go. There we go, Toby.
Yep.
Love you. You know what? He's co-captain normally, but for Cornelio being out, he is my official captain for tonight. That's captain, my captain right there, baby. Let's go, Toby Green. Yes. It's always a good night when he gets involved. But yeah, they're kind of like was I think it might have been like 30 meters away from the 50. That hand like right here, right off that mark to the handball, that got a little pucker factor right there. I'm surprised we were able to make something out of that. Thought that was going to be a turnover right there.
Hmm. Interesting. On that particular possession, Ollie Florent was the one on Toby Green. So they're
Oh,
not just staying with one guy on it. They're
they
they're,
going more of a
they're
zone then.
fluctuating. I don't think it's a zone. I think it's one of those. It's a pass off. It's
Fair enough.
whoever's deepest and then gets certain guys.
Yeah.
Ollie Florent's been rotating in the half. Ollie Florent's been for the longest time was rotating in the midfield, but Papley's been going to the midfield now. So to keep Ollie Florent in the game, they've been rotating him back to the halfback line. So he overcommitted. Uh-oh.
Oh no.
There's the man.
There is.
Oh,
Oh,
crossed the
okay.
goal.
Cool. 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 Cool.
Just hooked it too much.
Don, you watch any NBL?
Say that again. I'm sorry.
You watch any NBL? I know I
The
don't.
national basketball, the basketball league
Or is it netball?
in Australia.
Yeah, I forget. Actually, is it National Basketball League or is it Netball League?
It's no,
Okay.
it's the national basketball. It's their national basketball league
Now, the only time
is
I
the
see
NBL.
Australian
There,
basketball is when they lose to the U.S. in the Olympics. Ooh, how's that for some shade?
I'll tell you this though. They're building themselves a squad.
They are.
Gideon,
Oh,
one of the
wow.
younger kids
That
this
was
year.
amazing.
How's Millsy?
That was
With the goal there.
that was good.
Australia's
Can't hate.
they're getting some players. They're legitimately getting some players. I mean, the issue that Australia runs into is that the U.S. is just such a factory. They've just produced so many guys. And the scary part about sometimes about the NBA is the fact is that you could probably take the second tier best guys in the NBA and still probably win the gold, because even some of those guys are just so good. So and it's no disrespect. I mean, you gotta look at the total number again.
Look at
Australia
population
is so
too,
much a
right?
smaller. Well, exactly. There's just so much a smaller total of population, and then it's one of those where it's like with Australia, it's like their bigger sports are footy, cricket, rugby.
Mm-hmm.
It's like basketball is kind of third or fourth in line, where it's like basketball is kind of second behind
Yeah,
football.
when it comes to like
So
national turn.
there's much more top level athletes getting in, unfortunately, in the U.S.
Mm-hmm.
than there is in Australia. So it is one of those where it's like you can't not see that that's a potential to happen. It's like so.
I think it was it the
I
U.S.
think
and
Sydney got away with a
France
hold there.
in the Olympics? Was that
Well,
the one?
Australia got a bronze this year,
Oh,
so
okay.
in this last Summer Olympics, which is the first time they've medaled, which is pretty impressive.
Well, good for them. Yeah, I mean, when it comes to international tournaments, you guys, I'll have the U.S. Keep
Pay
sticking
him
to
that.
dominating basketball. You guys could keep dominating rugby. I mean, you in New Zealand at least. Except American rugby is actually kind of catching on, right?
It's getting bigger, because some of the bigger cities are starting to finally are getting people into it. I know the Dallas Fort Worth area is starting to is rugby is starting to grow big time.
Ooh,
down there, which I think is one of the reasons why the NTX Devils is trying to get going there, is because they're trying to snatch a few guys from rugby and get them into footy, which I think even people in the States have to admit that's probably not a bad idea.
No.
If you can grab a few guys that are probably going to play rugby, that should be holding the ball.
Yeah, they're calling that one.
And that should be 50. Got lucky, Toby. Got lucky.
I'd be lying if Toby
that
didn't
should
make me
be
nervous every play.
that shouldn't be a mark.
But that wasn't
Oh,
15.
it was not even close. It was maybe 8.
It's like- Dude, I hardly even know
Not
meters, so I just know
15.
that's not 15.
Oh,
I know
that was
yards.
maybe half. That was maybe half. I'm
I
like,
think
oh my gosh.
I think meters are what? It's around 4 feet, a little over 4 feet
It's
for the conversion.
yeah, I believe so. 'Cause it's 7 meters is 21 feet. Because
Okay.
our guys, because of having to set up fields for footy here with the Roosters, is that we have to know the dimensions of everything.
Mm,
And if I remember correctly, it's 7 meters between each pole. We equivalated out to around 21 feet
okay.
per pole in between each pole. So
Well, I'll just keep working. I'm a football guy. I work off of yards. I'll keep that going.
which is really interesting, since that's another metric, since that's a metric unit instead of a the units that normally people in the States use. So
Well, I think it's just easier to say 100 yards
it's so
instead of 300
interesting seeing
feet.
it's
Maybe
it's
just
so interesting seeing Horse Longwire there with Josh Kennedy as the medical sub. That's so interesting.
What, the weird part with Josh Kennedy being the Medi?
Yeah, the fact that he's the Medi sub. For the longest time, you would have told many people would have said the team wouldn't have went without Josh Kennedy on the field. So to see Josh Kennedy as the Medi sub, especially after he had 36 or 37 in the VFL last week, which was pretty impressive.
Damn.
Which is really funny because it was the first ever time he had played in the VFL and won. So he got the rookie Gatorade shower that they do.
Heck yeah. Oh, I love getting all sticky for that stuff. Oh, what we got here? Get that. Oh, through the hands. Damn.
They both overran it,
Right.
and then it came right back to him.
Oh, and that was a lucky bounce.
And then
And the
another
whiff.
one of those lucky bounces.
You know, one of those patented.
Sold them candy.
Oh
Uh-oh.
no, Donnie. Oh,
Oh,
no.
he's gonna
no.
get. That's one of those happy birthday moments.
Oh,
The problem is there's nobody there.
is he okay? I mean, that
I think
reminds me.
Robon got pushed from behind.
With
So
round one this season, it was a story of two halves because the Giants got all the bounces the first half, then Sydney got everything in the second half. It was great.
yeah, Rowbottom's gonna get an illegal shepherd there. So Reed's gonna get a free kick where the ball bounced inside the 50.
Mm.
That's a horrible penalty there.
Mm.
If Reed kicks it, that's gonna feel you now. Now Reed's not the most consistent goal kicker,
Oh, but man, he got it there.
but he buried it.
All right, man.
So
Fair enough.
Bruce is gonna regret that a little bit.
Fuck. All right. This is the kind of Giants game we're going to get today, aren't we, boys? Hell yeah. Well, let's talk about Captain Tazzy getting a team of the league. Well, wasn't there recent news that or did you see the I don't know if they were new or not. I was just coming across them in an article, but the concept art of what a Tazzy stadium would look like.
It's definitely one of those indoor fully roofed. I'm not sure if it's a
It
retractable
looked
roof or
pretty
not.
badass,
I know
though.
it looks pretty sick. The only issue that I'm really seeing by all of the communications is that the AFL wants Tassie to pay more, where Tassie wants the AFL to pay more. And
Yeah.
I just, unfortunately, I really kind of feel this is gonna get red taped to the point that Tassie's gonna miss out because they're making such a big deal about this, which is really frustrating. Because I agree with what some of them says. Tassie is such a football state. There's so many great footballers that have come from Tassie that I think they deserve it. Financially, does it make sense not to have a Tassie team? Yes, because there are teams that are struggling financially. There's no absolute. There, you will hear nobody disagree with that fact that there are teams that struggle financially.
Mm.
But the thing that I look at it when it comes to it is that I think in the long run it's actually going to help you having Tazi, because it's going to give you one more market to go to. It's going to give you one more market to be able to advertise in. It's going to give you one more team's merchandise to be able to sell. So I see positives out of it more than negatives, but unfortunately it's a present day business, and unfortunately with some of these teams struggling financially, it's people are going to look at the bottom lines first, and it's sad that it comes down to that. It really is. He ducked.
That's high all day. High all day, Donnie. Toby Green, the man
He
that
ducked.
knows the rule book front and back. Oh boy. Oh, who came away with that one? Oh, we did. I couldn't even tell for a
Yeah.
second.
Yep. And he lowers his shoulder. That's the
Yeah,
right call.
that was a fine tackle.
And the crazy part is, if he attacks the tackler because of the momentum that he's coming with, he probably can shed it and break out of it. But
Mm-hmm.
because he lowers the left knee and the right shoulder, the left shoulder dips a little, because both the left shoulder and knee dip,
Hey
it
yo.
cost him.
Hey, didn't cost the scoreboard though. There we go, boys. That's good. That's big. That's big. Well, made the right call. Still result in something nice for the Giants at least. Little intercept mark.
Yep. And
That's a
that's
bit of a
big
risky
Bruce
kick
there.
to take, just kicking into the pack there.
Well, it's not, well, it's not done intentionally. It's one of those. It's the hat kick to get out of defensive to try to clear pressure. The only issue that you run into is that that's what happens if you
Mm-hmm.
get a guy that's got a good boot on him, like Braden Bruce. That if they mark it around the 50, they've got the distance and the accuracy to be able to make you pay for it. So
Yeah.
it's one of the frustrating things sometimes about how it handles it, is that sometimes happens. You get those the hack kick comes
Oh,
back to
that's good
bite you.
D. I was just happy that Bruce was able to
Good
help make up
smother.
for his horrible play a handful of minutes ago.
Good smother by Ollie by Oflo there.
And that can't help but scoreboard watch for that Magpies and Power game.
It's
That's
crazy. Look at the difference between these two ruckmen. My gosh.
me in size.
Just size, girth. It's insane. You look at Braden Proust looks like a monster, and Hickey just looks like a really tall string bean. It's crazy.
Definitely that Mason Cox type body
Yep.
right there.
That's a
Oh boy, come on, fellas. Mm, almost a really good intercept mark there, but
and the problem is, because he doesn't intercept market, he drops it to three Swans who could raffle it to see who kicks it.
yeah. Ooh, what's up,
That's one of those
got a little
cruel
blade
ones.
lip
Oh
there?
no, that's not good.
Yeah, just a little blade lip. It's fine. He's fine.
This just shows you sometimes if you can get out into space, it makes it makes defenders panic. Read body contest, body spoils him there to where Haynes can't make the grab, and there's Will Hayward's there to mop up the crumbs, and all he's got to do is make sure it goes forward. So yep, you hate saying that. That's one of those, you don't mind Haynes punching that through and giving up the point. So then the goal doesn't happen.
Right. That's
Oh
always a
no! Oh no! And that should be holding the footy.
it's always a fun little strategic kind of thing to think about.
Well, and that's one of the things about this game that's very interesting is that do they think about that when you're going up for a marker? Are you thinking about where you are?
It's not to
Are
go
are
through
you
your
are you
head.
willing? Yep. Well, are you willing? Are you willing? Ooh, did that? Oh my gosh, he got lucky. That landed just on the line, so it'll be a throw in deep.
Mm, lucky bastard.
Yeah, but you can just look at the difference just in size.
I love it.
So this is going to be one of those where Hickey's just trying to be sure that he 50-50s most of these. He just can't get beat horribly.
Heaney. There we go. Kicked it to the right spot.
Nope, it got touched. It got touched. Let him go, Reed. I think he's trying to figure out why it was the way it
Mm.
was. Well, that's going to backfire on him.
Mm.
Jeez, come on. Stop doing that.
What is going
McInerney with a
on
great
there?
tackle and it.
Wow, that was a mad scramble. Oh, that's a lot of space.
And the
Oh,
crazy part, he's got the Rockman out left. Sam Reed, enough body ability to be able to get there.
Sam Reed kicking 5 today. What's going on, boys?
Well, he's either kicking 5 or he's kicking 1-4. Unfortunately, I'm serious. Unfortunately, this is one of those, as I've said a couple times in the podcast. This is a guy that Swans fans, whenever he has a shot on goal, Swans fans hold their breath
Well,
because there's just as likely
you go ahead
a
and take a breath now,
possibility
Donnie.
of
You can
him.
breathe again.
I'm not.
Oh,
When he's inside 25 meters, he's pretty. It's anything outside of 30. Anything outside of 30, he gets a little suspect,
that is a
a little bit.
bummer of a way to
And
end
that's
the
and that's
quarter.
and that's and that's the range where you start getting the accuracy starts to go just the tiniest bit. The lizard. I love his nickname. Nick Blakey's nickname, the lizard. My favorite part in a podcast earlier this week, and Luke Parker talked with the guys from the Melbourne Rush Hour. They were like, does he have any shoulders? And Luke Parker goes, he must, because he hurt an AC joint last year.
That's
So
good.
he's just so, he doesn't look like he looks so interesting because he doesn't look like he has shoulders. It just looks like he's got his neck and then it goes to his arms. It's just the most interesting thing. So who's the free
Ooh.
kick on?
Hey,
Oh,
look at Collingwood coming back. Down by 2 now.
yeah, it's still early.
Never too early for a Collingwood comeback.
Yeah, the flying lizard, or the leaping lizard, as I've heard some people say.
Leaping Lizard. It's a better one.
The flying fox and the leaping lizard.
Alliteration's always best when it comes to names. Oh, look
Uh-oh,
at this,
wide
but he's about
open.
to kick it. Oh, thank God. I really thought he was knowing Buddy. He could probably make that.
Well, the problem is the problem is if he played on, if he doesn't play on, he probably takes a shot and can barrel it.
I won't. I
Not a
won't.
bad first, not a bad first quarter there.
Dude, I would not put it past Buddy to kick it from midfield. Dude's
He's
insane.
done it before.
Exactly. Doesn't even need to kick
Yeah, it
it.
was a little bit of his younger days.
You can still do it. He doesn't even need to kick a dribble either. He'll kick it through the top of the goal from that far away. Well, that's a pretty solid first quarter of just entertainment. I'm not going to call it a good quarter for the Giants. Being down almost 20, but it's could have been worse. I don't know how we feeling about that one.
In all, I'm pretty happy. I mean, the Swans have gotten their run and gun game going. Their tackle pressure is pretty solid. The issue I see with this a lot of times is that how does it maintain? This is the quarter that most Swans fans sit here and they go, okay, what Swans show up for the second quarter? Is it the Swans fans? Is it the Swans that drop off completely and the other team goes for a run, or does the Swans stay in it and keep it close, kind of like what they've done last week, where it's like they dropped off a little bit, let Adelaide stay in the game, but they did enough to keep the lead and enough to be just fine to where they could hold on for the win in the end. So
Do me a favor and let me know when the game restarts or when the second quarter starts. I'm throwing Collingwood Port up.
how's that going? Still is second quarter already?
Yeah, 4 minutes left. Collingwood's at 6-4, Port at 6-6. Dang, so they gone 2-6 after starting off with their 4 straight goals. Yeah, Captain, I feel like there's a lot of people running with you. If Collingwood wins this one, I feel like there's going to be a lot of people pissed off. I'm just
Well,
waiting.
I don't think a lot of people would be pissed off. I just
Annoyed.
honestly like they keep defying what I keep thinking, which is
Exactly.
frustrating for me because I think I've got a gauge on them and they figure out a way to do it. Because I swear to you, like the Essendon game just infuriated
That
me
just
because
destroyed
I
all your
tipped
thoughts
Essendon.
about them.
Well, no, I tipped Essendon. Well, again, as I said in the podcast, I think Essendon did everything they did to help Collingwood
Oh,
win
he
that game.
blew it.
Because
He blew it. That was a perfect marker from the goalie. He blew it. Then the Lear puts it through for a behind. Just punches it through.
the rush behind.
Yeah. Damn.
See, that's
That
one of
was
those. She sees a
innocence.
little
Was
bit of
it? Was
pressure,
that?
knocks it through,
Yeah, I
gives
think
up the
that was
point.
minivan right there. Rocking the sleeves.
You know what I find kind of a little bit funny?
Hmm.
We'll go a little bit more closer. Is that um, so today's the last week of our fantasy regular season, and I face Lee, the number one team in the entire competition. And guess who one of his players is?
Is it? Is it somebody just up?
Even Canelio.
Oh no!
One of his players is Canelio, so he's down a player.
Damn.
Yep,
Oh,
he's down a player.
that's one of those bummer ones where you. I mean, that was um, a late
Well,
miss.
it's one of the it's yeah, exactly. It's one of those late changes, man. It's like especially if it's a game that you're not going to watch. Like if it's like the overnight ones for us over
Mm-hmm.
here, it's like that one hurts because there's nothing you could do. You're
No.
not expecting it. It comes late. You
Yeah.
get
So
no
for those
warning at
watching,
all. You
our
get
fantasy
no
league is all
warning at
Americans.
all.
We are on a horrible time when it comes to trying to watch these games.
Well, to let everybody know that doesn't know, we have somebody in every single time zone. We have
Yeah.
at least one person in every single time zone. We have a couple of guys. We have at least three guys out east in the East Coast. Myself and my fellow rooster Brad, who's also in our tipping comp, also both here in the Central. We have our good old Ross here in the Mountain, and then at least two or three in the West Coast.
Idaho gang.
We have people in every single time zone. So that's the most interesting thing. Like when we were getting everything together, is that we have somebody in every single time zone to try to pay. So getting our
Collingwood
draft
takes the
together
lead, Donnie.
was
Collingwood takes the lead. Minute 40 to go in the half. Woo!
I got an entire second half to go.
There's Jackie Boy kicking that one. That's a solid goal. I don't know those. Would it? Now I'm just spitballing here. But
Mm-hmm.
would it look better if Collingwood's sleeves were on the stripes on the long sleeves were vertical and not horizontal?
Maybe. I mean, most
Ugh,
people don't usually wear the long sleeve, so that's why it's a little
exactly.
that's why it's always interesting when
The
they
the
wear the
sleeves on
long
Collingwood
sleeves.
just don't look that good.
Mm-hmm. Well, the other crazy thing about it, just going off my fantasy
There we
thing,
go,
is the fact
Mason.
is that Nick Blakey is on Lee's team. So it's like I'm watching him and I'm like, yes, Nick Blakey's playing well. Oh no, he's scoring points against me in the face. It's always kind of like
Oh no.
it is the weirdest thing sometimes when you play fantasy and it's like you're like, oh my gosh, I'm like, I can cheer for this guy because he's on my team. Oh crap, I can't And like in the fantasy game, I should not want him to do well, but I'm like, nope, I'm not going to do that. So,
That man, that's a bummer. Like I that hits me harder when it comes to NFL fantasy football because I'm immediately way more into that just because I understand it more. um,
well, and the funniest thing for me is the fact is that I almost intentionally try not to pick up at many swans just because I know because it's like I'm so invested in them. I know them a lot better. Like I even told some of the people in our fantasy league, I'm like, if you want to know about a Swan player, whether they're going to be hurt, whether they're going to play or not, I said, reach out. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm going to tell you straight. So, and funny thing is nobody's
ooh,
actually
curve.
taken me up on that.
Yes.
Interesting when the tagger gets a point.
I actually have a in my main fantasy football league. Shout out to the Dirty Dozen. I have a official rule named after me called Ross Rule, where you shall have no more than four players, or no more than three players from the same team on your roster at any time. My first year of fantasy football, I had no idea what I was doing. I drafted four Broncos players the year after they had the best offense in arguably NFL history, and it didn't work out for me because that was the year Peyton Manning fell off.
Well, and the thing about that though is that and I've said it to a few people is that with NFL with most
Volleyball.
fantasy things, like if you have a bye week, the other thing you got to pay attention to if you draft a lot of people from one team is that when you get a bye week and you're not going to get any points that week because none of the guys are
No.
playing. So it was very interesting. Like that was kind of the funny thing about this league was the fact is that when you had bye weeks where six teams were off,
Mm-hmm.
like you had some guys that were dropping good players and putting them into the free agent pool. And then you had guys that were like, well, I'll have a couple of guys out. It'll
I
be
made that
okay.
mistake my
So
first season.
it's a really interesting thought process is like, I talked to Lee a couple of times and Lee basically told me, he goes, I'll give up a loss in the bye week if it means picking off a couple of great players to be able to make myself better for finals. And I was like, I thought about that later and I'm like, it is kind of a great thought process to do it like that. Like give up a couple, like there's 3 weeks that there's buys. So there's the possibility you could go 0-3 during the bye week.
Good intercept.
But I did tell you the Swans are back, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we're watching. It's 47-42 halftime for Collingwood and Port.
Yeah, so it's
It's
5 point
This is
game.
weird.
So
What a weird
Collingwood is
game,
playing.
Donnie.
Collingwood is playing to
Collingwood up at halftime?
like.
What world are we living in?
Actually, they were up there for a bit with against Essendon. So, and then
Oh
Essendon
yeah,
had a
that's right.
mighty run there. So it happens. That could have been ugly.
Yeah. Looked like a tough hit. Um, Captain, I got into footy a few 2.5 years ago. At this point, I believe about halfway through the 2020 season.
Old pandemic.
Yep. Shout out to Pat McAfee show for turning me on to the sport, and shout out to Mason Cox, the greatest player to ever grace a footy field. Donnie's been doing this for a
And
lot
that ain't
longer than I am. Um,
that ain't the only one. That ain't the only one. Remember, it's the Des Moines Roosters thing after you tweeted AFL.
oh yeah,
AFL's
yeah, of
underrated.
course. But there
That got this
that
whole
got
thing
this
going.
But
So
for me to even consider, or for me to even find out what the hell the AFL was, that was Pat McAfee right there. So I'll give him a little bit of credit. Donnie, you're the reason I know anything more than that the AFL is a real thing. Um, and obviously you've been doing this a lot more. Donnie's actually a head coach of his local U.S. AFL team, the Des Moines Roosters. He knows a lot more than I
yep,
do.
I'm learning. Yeah, I'm a footy. I'm a footy. Like when the footy season starts, I a lot of my family and friends know that my weekends I don't get much sleep. I'm constantly watching games. I'm talking footy. I'm the AFL, the Watch AFL live app is one of my favorites on my laptop screen. So if that doesn't tell you how much I'm into the
Oh
sport,
well,
I am an AFLW nuffy as well. So I watch the AFLW just as much. So super excited that the
Buddy missing.
women's season
Wow.
he's he sometimes gets inaccurate sometimes, which this will be
It's
huge
rare.
here.
Ooh, little
Are the
candy.
Swans inaccurate?
And
It's
good.
not rare.
Okay.
It's not rare because there for a while when he was with Hawthorne, I agree with Jude Bolton said it in our chat with him is that he probably could have got to 1,000, probably
Oh, what
maybe a
happened there?
year.
Did you?
Ran too far. Ran
Ah,
too far. You
was it?
remember
It's 15
15
meters,
meters.
right? Yeah. Damn. Oh, but now the refs know what 15 is, you bastards. Sorry, not
Well,
refs,
usually
umpires.
what they the rule of thumb is 10 steps for most people. If you run more than 10 steps, you usually run past 15 meters. So usually that's one of the things that they say.
And for Mason Cox, it's probably around 5 steps with those giraffe legs.
7.5. Just kidding. Just kidding. No, but
How
so
dare
I
you
mean, I
smitten the
absolutely
name of Mason Cox, Donnie? I'll have
I smite the name. I besmirch.
besmirch.
Yep.
Like talk
I
about
use big
Geelong's
words.
legend kicking with his 350th game this round. You're talking a little. Oh, and behind
Kudos to
again.
him.
Okay, okay. The Swans are trying to be nice to the Giants at the start of the quarter. I'll take it.
Yeah, sometimes they get a quarter where they're wonky when it comes to on goal. The only thing that would bother me as a Giant supporter right now is the pressure. You don't want this to last. Like you don't want to get to the 10-minute mark and have the Swans have 3 or 4 more shots on goal, even if they are behind. You don't want that because that's going to tire your defense out. And that's going to make it that much harder come fourth quarter.
Yeah, just like the first quarter, the hand that's a great mark, but also the handballing for Sydney's been on point today.
Well, they're much more
Oh
they're
well,
much
there
more
we go.
attacking.
Heaney, he's going for three,
Well, he could have raffled that. He had Heaney and Papley both coming.
and both are probably going to kick it through the middle. What right? This is Heaney going for three, right?
Yes, is Heaney going for 3, I believe.
Man, I really think next year, if I could do, it's a must draft is Isaac Heaney because he, I feel like he averages like three goals
The
per
only
round.
thing, though, here's the thing that I say when it comes to Isaac Heaney in a game. This is not me. This is not me downplaying him at all. This is just me being the Swan supporter. Is that he occasionally can
Damn,
go
he's so
quiet in
good.
games, especially if they're not attacking, like if they have issues where it gets pinned back in their defensive end, and because he's not a midfield, he's not going to put up a ton of points sometimes because he gets goals, he gets the occasional disposal, but he's not a big disposal guy. So that's the like if you're gonna draft a Swans forward, you want to draft Papley because he's the
Hmm.
guy that occasionally he'll go in the midfield, he'll get some things. Draft a Papley, draft a Hayward, um, those are the guys you want to go for because they can go midfield a little
Mm-hmm.
bit more. So they're going to get more possessions, which means they're going to get more points. So it's like with Heaney, unfortunately, he can go in the midfield. I think he can play midfield. He's played midfield. It's just not his strength. Like that's not where he's really good. He flies at the footy. He reads the footy well. He marks the footy, and he's pretty accurate when he's not rushing himself. And no, that wasn't 3. It's 2. I forgot he missed the one, so he's 2-1. He has one behind.
Got. Oh yeah, that's right. That's great. We love our shout out to our
Now
friends,
that's going to
the
be a holding the
Creed
ball because he tried to fend.
over on
Can't
Twitter
fend.
because they're fantastic. They just said seeing a 6-3 first quarter followed up by a 0-3 second quarter is about as surprising as seeing the sun come up in the morning. Not too
Oh,
far off with that one.
just missed to the right. He's gonna be a star. He's gonna be a star once he gets himself some game time. He's got that super high athletic ability.
Sorry,
He's one of
Ilya.
those honest he's one of those honestly that as a Swans fan I looked at and kind of was hoping somehow he would drop to our second pick.
Hmm.
because
Yeah.
I was like he's got that intercepting ability, which I think comes in major league handy.
It's an insane intercepting ability.
No, but the only thing though is he's super high athleticism, but there's still some
The
issues
injury.
kicking wise.
Uh,
He's still very well. It's not injuries. He's such a raw. It's raw talent.
mm-hmm.
Nope. The goal judge, the best thing what I love about that is just pay attention to the goal judge. The goal judge are sprinting one way, you know it's off to the right
Yep.
or the whatever side he goes to.
Just general thoughts on Shai Bolton, Donnie?
Just an incredible player. I mean, he's got dusty like
Freak.
impact qualities when he's on the footy. Absolutely incredible guy. The only thing I think sometimes, and it's a little bit of the Richmond thing, and this is not me bashing him. This is just an observation, is that like of several Richmond players is they get undisciplined at times.
Mm.
They make mistakes that they probably shouldn't have. They give up 50s, they give up free kicks that probably they shouldn't because they get undisciplined. They make a mistake that is it's almost a brain fade. And I'm
Oh,
almost
I'll
like,
take that.
why are you doing that? So
Okay, good. And Donnie, I'm gonna need the
good
coach
kick.
here to fill me in. You're over on this on the boundary, and you kick it towards him and kind of center it there. Do you do that just because you have a man advantage, or is there a
You do that to open up the field because the issue is if you try to go down the line, you've got all the defenders there. That's where
yeah?
all the defenders already are. It's kind of like when a run game in the NFL, it's kind of like the run game. You don't want to run to the side that's got the most to defenders. So what he's doing with that kick is that he's trying to open up the field. He's trying if he can get the mark
So it's
there, it
almost
opens up the
worth
rest
the
of the
risk
field.
kicking
Well,
it.
and it gives your next guys the space to be able to lead. So
Mm.
that's the biggest thing there is that it opens up the rest of the field. It opens up the rest of the field for your forwards. So the rest of your game opens up because like see here how Sydney look at how much space Sydney has because they went from one side of
Damn.
the field to the other. Now Stevens overkicked that, but he has a wide open guy. And look here, dump kick. Now Stevens gets it back. What does he do? He'll take the short option there, most likely. Now watch him go towards the middle. Probably a good decision there, but watch
Ooh,
towards the top of the goal square because at least if you get a crumb, you got a chance. You got a chance here, and he got the mark.
good big fella. There we go. There we go.
He's going to get a lot of stats today because he keeps guarding Buddy, and Buddy tends to be a target,
Really, Buddy a target, Donnie? Man.
which is really interesting because he's never been known for his overhead marking. That's the thing that I find fascinating about it. He's never been a good overhead
But it seems
marking
like he's
guy.
put into that
Like I
situation a
almost
lot, though. Am I wrong on that?
No, again, like I said, he's kind of got that. That's not good. Trainer's running towards Taylor at the top of the square.
Oh no.
The guy in the purple.
Oh
Well,
no.
you won't see him now because of
Yeah,
the way they
no.
moved. But he ran over towards the top of the square, which was where Taylor was when he came down from the mark.
Oh, okay. They're walking away now. That's always so funny to me, especially being the NFL guy I am. How the trainers just come on and they're just sitting doing their thing in the background while the rest of the game is going on. Just
Yeah, it's one of the few games where an injury doesn't just stop play. Good
right.
tackle, high. Yep.
Mm.
It's like if it isn't a ball up, it's a high tackle. So
Come on, Dowie.
see there that's that tackle pressure there makes it for a harder kick to mark, and Blakey makes a good play there. Now look, see how everybody's flowing to one side because you're trying to open up the field. See now Lloyd's got a couple options. He can go down the line. He doesn't really have a ton, but see how he goes to the middle. No,
Mm-hmm.
watch the field open up
Yeah. I think
because
the
he
whole middle
uses
thing
the
kind of came
runner.
from my former thoughts on the NFL. Sometimes it's tough
That'll be fun
throwing.
on content.
Ooh, there's he by the kick number 3, big surprise. When it comes to throwing the
I
ball to
think
the
you're
middle,
just a little.
normally a lot of action there, especially with hockey. It's almost like a cardinal sin to pass it to the middle, especially playing defense.
Yeah, you want to keep it along the sidelines because it's a much less dangerous area. But then again, though, it is one of those where it's like if you do go corridor and you stuff it up, it's that much shorter to your goal. So that's why it's like it's a risky kick, but it's a kick if you hit it, it can open up the rest of the field and for your players to attack into open space because it opens up
Now,
the
is that
entire field
legal?
going forward.
I didn't catch who was defending them, but
Yeah, you
he
can
threw his
jump, you just
mouthpiece.
can't
No,
go
he threw
you
his
just can't
mouthpiece
go to the
up.
red line. I think he was faking that he was throwing his mouthpiece.
No, he threw it up. I swear I saw the little white thing in the air. I swear.
They spoiled each other.
As best,
The
hey
two
man.
GWS players spoiled each
As
other.
best,
If one of them would have told the one of them would have, yep,
you see that?
yeah, he did. I saw it. You're right. He did throw it up and throw him off enough.
Okay, I'll
It's like a
take it.
psych out from basketball.
I'll take it, man.
Oh, what a tap down.
Captain, the game is starting to slip away for GWS.
Oh no, evil bounce.
5 minutes
Evil
into the game.
bounce. Good tackle.
Man,
That's Isaac Heaney
just
showing
hurry
his
up and
rugby
give
league,
Isaac Heaney all Australian honors. We don't need to
his
delay it.
rugby, his rug. I don't think I think if anybody in the forward line is going to be an all Australian for the Swans, it's going to be this guy
Going Papley.
because of the season. Uh oh, ball up. when Buddy Franklin is tackling tacklers like that, that's a scary thought process. Think about 6'5", 215,
And
220.
she's making her live stream debut. There's Phoebe. There we go. She says hi. You're famous now. It's bedtime for my fiance because it is late here. Get to bed. Love you.
Ah,
There we go. And that's how we do
with
it.
you.
Normally,
Oh,
that's how we do it. We like to FaceTime.
and another tackle.
It's all about FaceTime before bed. She is not going to wait for me to to get my ass to bed tonight. It's going to be a little late.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
Have a shot or not. Just go to center.
okay.
To nobody. What
You?
the hell was that?
And she says, "Go Giants." By the way, I love her. I love her optimism. It's a good thing she didn't see the scoreboard.
Hey, you jokingly say is you have something both to cheer for. I know my wife's a Swans fan, so she's gotten to the point now she's become superstitious as me. She has to wear her Swans pajama shirt to bed every night when the Swans play.
Oh, I love it. Well,
They've only lost like legitimately they've only lost once when she has.
That's impressive. The funny thing is, a few months ago, I went through those, those little fun fan tests where like you answer like some seemingly random questions, and it says what team you should root for. Can you guess? Let's see. I mean, obviously, there's 18 teams you can choose from. Do you know which one she tested for?
I don't know. Don't tell me she got Sydney.
No, she got St. Kilda, and
she got the Saints.
I felt bad just because. I like rooting for teams where I at least know what to expect from them. I know what to expect from the Giants. Almost every round, that's 0 points. We'll see next year.
Another candy cell. No, took out the umpire. Oh, Flo. Got bailed out a little bit on that one. Cheeky. I think goal might come here if they move it quick enough. Armadi's trying to do the body pressure, trying to go for the footy. There it is. Sam Reed right in the middle. interesting. I just had somebody tweet at me asking, "How did I become a Swans fan?" And if I'm an expat, I was like, nope. Even though I've been asked that a couple of times, as much as I tweet and much as I talk about it, so many people assume I'm an expat. I'm like, nope, I'm born and raised American. I'm just psycho like that. So
Oh, well, there's anyway.
So
Well,
anybody in the chat that hasn't heard it basically is I saw the game when I was a kid. We had a channel called Fox Sports World that had footy, and my father was a huge sports fan. Like he watched rugby, he watched golf, he watched any sport that was on telly, he watched it. And he showed me it, and I just absolutely fell in love with. I thought the sport was fantastic. The channel discontinued a couple of years later. I got into high school, and then I found the Roosters in 2009. Didn't pick a team. Finally, in 2012, I finally took the plunge, and right about that time, it was getting close to finals, and I watched the 2012 grand final. Absolutely fell in love with the Swan style, the very tough kind of blue collar type of team that they had that year, and I absolutely loved it. And so I became a Swans fan through Swan supporter through that, and then in 2016 took the plunge, became an international member, and have not regretted it ever since. So
and my
that's kind
story's a
of
lot
my
simpler.
fun little story.
I remember just watching my first game. I remember, oh yeah, the Giants were one of those teams that I watched.
GWS versus North Melbourne, I
Yes,
think,
it
was your
was.
first game you ever
Yes, it
saw.
was.
Yep.
It's GWS versus North Melbourne. So I guess out of those two, I chose the better option. But I was like, oh yeah, I remember that team played. Well, I'll root for them. And ooh, Tim Durant. Let's see if you can kick him on before you leave us this off season, buddy. Oh,
I think you jinxed him.
probably.
You
You
jinxed
know
him.
what? Is what it is. It is what it is. Fine, I want you gone. I don't want you. Oh, oh, that's just one. I can't even say that out loud
Well,
for
I think
for trying to cope.
the issue that I really see with it though is that I don't think GWS wants to let him go, but unfortunately with their salary
I
cap
just don't
situation
think
the
they
way
can
it is,
afford him.
there's a couple of big ticket guys that are just they're going to have to go to be able to keep the core as much of the core around as
At
possible. And
least you
unfortunately,
can get
guys like
something. At least he's
Hopper, and Bobby Hill, I think are probably all going to find themselves with new homes
yeah. At
after
least
this year.
you probably get a pretty good price for Tim. Well, uh,
Well, just I think it depends on where he wants to go,
yeah.
where he goes. That'll be the biggest thing there because I think you're going to get certain teams may get you a better price.
Collingwood.
Look at his.
Oh, it's big. Collingwood. Port Adelaide is back in the lead in the third term, 48-47. Good
Have a
spot.
crack, bud.
No, no, keep away from Bud. No, it's in his hands. We don't want that. Oh,
Have a crack, Errol.
really, it doesn't matter whose ball is in his hands. Like everyone's saying, yeah, I feel like he's a great goal kicker, or at least a good goal kicker.
Sometimes there, like I said, there are quarters they can't
Like
find the
that.
goals
That was a
sometimes. So,
solid goal. That was a solid
well,
piece of kicking right there.
Errol's one of the best kicks on Sydney's team. So it's one of those you're much more confident with the ball in his hand. His left foot is deadly. If he can get his shoulder square, is the one thing you got to give him there is that he squares his shoulders to his target, which makes it a lot easier to kick it straight. Even though they're for a tiny bit though, Swans almost stuffed this because they over handballed so fucking much, and then he finally settles himself nice and easy.
Man,
I
it's
mean, that's one
really.
of those. They eventually got it right, but all these handballs here, this could have buggered so many times.
I would be having a lot worse of a time right now, Donnie, if it was last season. The Giants are actually in finals contention right now. Luckily, I
Mm-hmm.
don't even have to worry about them doing that. So like, it's just it just is what it is, baby. Better draft position. Let's
Well,
go Swans.
the thing at this point is that GWS, I think that they accept they're not going to make finals. You almost look at it here is that you're going to get a top draft pick. You know that for sure, no matter what happens. So you bring in another talented youngster. Like I said, you're gonna unfortunately have to subtract some solid quality midfielders, but in the long run, it may be able to kind of strengthen your squad in other situations, and you've got some youngsters that I think have bright futures. Tom Green's going to be a gun. His career, if he continues to progress, I think Lee Lear is going to turn out to be an absolute steal.
I think he's
Where
gonna
they
be a
where they
stud,
got
man.
him.
I think he's gonna be a freaking stud.
Um, the
Hey,
only
there
thing
we go. Points on
that
the
kind of
board.
hurts.
That's another
The
one.
only thing that really hurts is that
Closer.
Tanner Bruin, another solid youngster, I think is going to find himself back in Victoria.
Yeah.
So that's, I think, unfortunately, you're probably going to see another season towards the bottom at least next year, just because you're still kind of you're progressing this list in a way that I think is going to make you stronger in the future, which I know some people don't like hearing because it's not something you ever want to hear your team say, is that it's the you're going to have to deal with some pain thing to supporters that most people don't like hearing. But
It's true though.
I
It is
think the
what it
giant
is.
if the Giants have some youth to the point where if they can get it to progress and grow together, there's some solid light at the end of the tunnel if they do it. The issue is
Ooh,
can they keep it all
good
together?
mark.
Because that's been the issue they've had, is that so many solid youngsters that they've had have left to other teams because eventually you just can't afford to have nothing but superstars.
And it looks like we're going to run out of time here.
Yep.
Well,
Oh, this is damage control here.
yeah. Well,
That's all it was.
I
There's that that
think.
that that little section there is nothing but damage control. It's
Oh,
basically
Captain,
making
sorry, Don, real
sure
quick.
that you don't give up any
Captain,
more
thank you
points.
so much for tuning in, man. It's okay that you got to go. Hopefully, you have a good rest of your day slash evening. And best luck to Richmond for you.
Afternoon.
Appreciate you joining. Thank you. Yeah, but Don, correct me if I'm wrong, but being up 37 halftime is a good margin to have.
Usually, usually most people would say that's
Well, back
you're,
to
you're
Colin
close
Miller
you're
point.
close to you're close to putting it away if you do it that way. So it's a good one. But again, it's the way. Well, here's the thing. I say this is kind of the way this season has gone for a lot of teams. Is that there is no lead that's safe that you're going to sit here and go, because the way scoring is with 666, you just don't know. Like you don't want to sit here and go, well, yeah, Sydney goes in the halftime lead with a 37-point lead. They should win this game. Well, normally in a normal everyday, but with 666 and the way scoring sometimes can happen, it's 37 can be 15 in a matter of 8 minutes. So I mean, this is far from over. And with GWS's talent, they're still in this game. It may seem far fetched, but they're still in this game. I mean, if things go right in just the right way, they're in this game. The first 10 minutes of the third quarter are absolutely massive. GWS needs to chop this lead down to at least to around 18. If they can get it to that going into the fourth quarter, they're in business. If it's anything more than 25, it's a mountain against a team that can put up points and is pretty good. Usually has been pretty good defensively. So you sit here with the, the first 10 minutes, you got to put up a couple of goals. You got to kind of chop into this lead and put a little bit of fear um,
Ooh,
into Sydney that you're going to come back on them.
Taylor Adams was subbed out of the game. Sorry, the third
Oh,
quarter.
that's a blow.
That's a
That's a
tough
blow to
one.
Collingwood's midfield.
Damn.
That's a blow.
Also, I love those pigeons really just not giving a damn about anyone around them. Just all three of them just sitting right next to the ball. What's going on there? You catch that?
And then I know that the pigeons and the seagulls sometimes at the MCG can be quite the little cheeky bastards.
Reminds me of the all those damn seagulls you'd see at the Oakland Coliseum for the A's games. They do not care. The only problem for those seagulls now is that most of the time they try to invade the stadium to catch some food scraps, but they can't really catch anything when there's no fans showing up to the game. So it's a bad time to be a seagull in Oakland right now. Going over to San Francisco,
Yeah.
they actually got something going on over there.
Hmm.
Ooh, Trent in the chat. We got a fellow Swanee supporter. Yeah, yeah, you guys are having a good time right now. Enjoy the fun. That's why I'm
I
out here
try not
watching
to be
Colin
that. I
and
try
Port
not to be
so I
that
can be
dickhead. I
entertained.
really try not to be that dickhead fan because I
No,
know
I know
way
you're
too
not,
many,
and I appreciate
unfortunately.
that. But at the same time, I don't care because the Giants aren't going to do anything this year at this game. So it is what it
Well,
is.
like I said, the biggest thing that you can kind of, and again, and I know it's most fans hate hearing it, but you're gonna get a solid draft pick out of this. So as much pain as it goes through,
See,
is you're looking at a top 10 draft
that's
pick,
why I'm
which
not
means you're gonna get
tripping.
a quality talent
Giants are going to
in the
get.
door. Yes, you're gonna lose some quality. Yes, you're gonna lose some quality talent. Unfortunately, probably with Taranto, Bruin, and Hill at least, maybe Hopper as well, which will be difficult. But in the long run, you're gonna bring in a youngster that you're gonna be able to build off of, and I think in all you're probably gonna work it out. But it's
Yeah,
these
that's
next
why I'm
couple
not
of
tripping too
seasons are going to be
much. I
difficult.
mean, I
Yeah.
know that the Giants are going to be legit contenders for at least another 3 seasons. Last year was a bit of a fluke when they made that run into the finals, and so it is what it is. I'm here for the rebuild. Maybe I'm just the only thing is a sports fan. I'm just fingers crossed because it's been a long 6 years. I'm hoping that the Broncos rebuild is finally over. They can actually make the playoffs again. So we'll see if they can make me happy because the San Jose Sharks are in the world, and the Oakland A's are a living embodiment of a dumpster fire. Sell the team, please. I'll stay optimistic for the Giants. I'll be a little bit more optimistic if North stops trying to take away Alistair Clarkson from us, you bastards. Stay away. You already jinxed everyone else. You don't need to ruin Clarko for us
Holy
either.
shnikes.
What you see?
Just looking at the statistics, Connor Rosie has 24 disposals in just a little over 2.5 quarters.
Damn.
Yeah, he has 24 disposals already.
It's all handballs.
No, 11 kicks, 13 handballs,
Oh
five
shit.
marks, three
Okay.
tackles. Yeah, he already has 83 fantasy points already.
Well, damn. Have a game.
Yeah, I know. You want to know what's crazy?
Hmm.
He's on my team. Want to know what's even
Who's your
better? I
captain?
have him as my captain.
I was about to ask. See.
He's my captain. He's
Oh,
my
that's
captain. So
perfect.
He already has 166 points,
Yeah,
and
the
it's still
boy,
in the third
Donnie.
quarter.
Yeah, the boy. Look at
Well,
you.
I'm gonna need it because his captain's Marcus Montepelli,
Ooh.
which is really really funny. Makes me angry because he's who I traded him Marcus Montepelli for Brody Grundy. That trade blew up in my face.
Yeah,
Yep,
Frank
that
have gone a
trade
little
blew up
better.
in my face. Just a
You know
tiny
what?
bit.
I am really digging the timing on these games right now. With Collingwood Port being about half hour ahead of GWS and Sydney, just because there's always going to be footy on. So we don't have to worry about
Mm-hmm.
trying to BS stuff during halftime or even quarter time.
Yeah,
My short attention
it's
span
very
gets footy
interesting.
100% of the
Well,
time and don't have to
the
watch
only thing
commercials.
the only thing that frustrates me, and I kind of agree with it. It's just the part that
Oh,
curbs
there we
me
go.
off is the fact
Collingwood.
is that
Yes.
these are two really good games with finals contenders in them, and you got Hawthorne versus St. Kilda a little bit later, and it's just like really
I'd say
so.
there's one really good game. There's one rivalry and one really good game. Uh,
So
but look at Collingwood taking the lead now, boys. Let's go. I think my hope on tonight is that the Giants break the 50
Kingy
point
and
mark.
Kingy and Dermy going at each other on whether that tackle on Toby Green by McCartan was high or not. This is
I'm
gold.
glad I am not listening to
Dermot
that. That's how you lose brain cells.
Dermy. No, I mean it's a good conversation
What,
because
Donnie?
because
Let
they
me take a
they
guess.
they both
Kingi's
have.
saying that it was a high tackle.
No, actually, it's flipped. Like
Oh,
Dermy saying it's a legal tackle, and Kingy saying it actually Kingy saying it was high.
oh yeah. So I was right. There we go. Okay, okay. I was right with my assumption there.
He's like, if you and they show it like a half a second before first contact, and he's like, his forearm's already above his shoulder, and Dermot literally, like, just like the half, he goes, yeah, because a half a second before this take, he's already starting to lower himself. So
It's
it was a
so easy to
great
guess
debate.
Kingy's
Like,
side
it
of
was
things,
actually a
bro.
good
You
debate.
just guess the worst take of the two, and that goes to Kingy.
Well, they're not bad takes. It is one of those where it's like it's kind of a it's a quick judgment
Yeah,
call,
that one's not
and
bad, but
sometimes some.
it's still wrong though. At least in my humble opinion. Man, I am Trent. Good point. That I am Donnie. I'm so excited to see Collingwood versus Sydney here in a couple rounds.
It's gonna be a barn burner. Like I'm looking forward to it
Not just to
because
the game
as
itself,
I
but
kind
the
of said,
results and the impact on the ladder that's going to have.
well,
Is going to be
especially considering
tremendous.
that's round 20, that's round 22. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
that's just before the finals. As I kind of said in our podcast, I'm my gut tells me that that could be for the fourth spot in the finals if
Ooh.
Frio continues to kind of have some issues,
Charles says it's not
or
like Derby
Brisbane or
was the
anything like
cleanest
that.
player
Like,
either.
so we'll have to see. So, but I honestly think that round 22 matchup that could be for the top four.
Dude, that I really hope that the ladder lines up where it is, because there's nothing like adding some extra stakes on the game before it even bounces off.
Well, and the crazy part about it is as I kind of said in the podcast, the Sunday games for round 23 are absolutely cracking because
Yes.
you've got Carlton Collingwood
Mm-hmm.
just before Sydney St Kilda. Like, I think that Sunday I'm almost going to try to figure out a way to watch all the games because I think each game is going to be interesting because, as I kind of said, the live ladder is going to be nuts that day
It's
because
gonna be so much fun.
every single change in result could actually affect the ladder. Like, now you could also get into the point where if St Kilda drops a couple of games over the next couple,
Oh,
a game
Mitch
against
biffed
Sydney may
it.
not. Yeah, Georgiades sometimes be a little bit inconsistent.
Dude,
So
his set marks are always pretty solid though. That's a big one to.
I don't know if he's cramping or if he buggered his Achilles because he's walking really weird.
It's obviously full body cramps. He's going to be taking out of the game for real.
Well, and I remember what I was telling you that Dimmer should do.
Yep, just don't play
He didn't.
him.
He didn't. The guy's
Oh,
playing.
oh
Yep, the guy
no!
is playing.
Ah, damn
Yep.
it, damn it!
So
Now he's going to get dragged.
it'll be very interesting to see how that would because as soon as the teams came out and they said he was on there, there was already some people going, well, here's your proof that it's being manipulated. And I guess some doctors have come out saying that they're starting to see coaches um trying to pressure them into say little niggles are happening to guys for tactical reasons.
Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't
Yep.
want the rule to be changed.
There's some team doctors that have come out and said that that they feel it should be changed.
Well,
So
my take is going to age poorly according to the doctors.
which unfortunately angers me because then that means that coaches are being nefarious, which really irks me off.
That's the worst part about it.
I know the rule, like I know the rule sets up for people to be able to kind of manipulate it, but that's the thing that frustrates me is that it takes so much integrity out of it takes so much integrity and class out of the game when you have to do that. Like, just frustrating. So I wouldn't be surprised next year if they either go to they go to five on the bench. It would not shock me one bit.
Yeah, I guess that's not the probably one of the better options to do at this point. All right, Mason
Well,
Cox.
there might be the easiest goal of Mason Cox's life.
There we go. There we go. The greatest American footy player of all time puts one through. Let's go, Mason Cox. You are a freaking hero. Mm. And there really is nothing like amazing. Also, I really want to meet the guy that has the Texas State flag there behind goal too. That was awesome. That's awesome.
Well, it always seems like Collingwood, the Collingwood fans either have an American flag or a Texas state flag. They always have one of them. It's always
That's
interesting
why I
that
love
that
Collingwood. You guys are
somebody
great.
has that.
Oh, oh,
Well,
wow.
Collingwood is like I said,
There we
it's kind
go.
of like the kind of like the New York Yankees. You either love them or you hate them.
Well, Mark. Well, I guess I'll flip on the team. I hate the Yankees. Love the Magpies.
Well, the funny I saw was there was I think it was Damian Barrett wrote an article about how he believed that the way McRae is coaching the Collingwood and the way he's kind of done things is that he's kind of made Collingwood that second team that people are starting to like, which I found fascinating. Some pundits were like, "Yeah, I don't think so." So it was very interesting to see how some people have reacted to that particular quote because it's like as I told a few people, I said the Pies are one of those teams because Mason Cox is on there. You have a little soft spot as an American for him because it's like you want him to do well.
Absolutely.
But then there's part of you that's like you're told constantly you're either supposed to love or hate Collingwood. You're not supposed to. But it's like
Screw you guys.
I
I
have a
love them.
hard time hating. Well, I have a hard time hating some of these guys because I think there's some great players that you respect because
Hmm.
they play the game the right way.
Like I'm not
So
a
like
Richmond fan, but I
Pendlebury,
love watching
like Penn
Dusty.
yeah, like Pendlebury, Hoskin Elliott, Steel Sidebottom are guys that
Mm,
he's like you can't not respect. They're just such good players. So
I agree. I'm there with you.
Dacos got bailed out there.
Just a tad, right?
That's the tinies, but here's the biggest thing here. Can Port Adelaide stem this little run that Collingwood's on?
Let's hope not. Let's go, boys.
Lear. Uh-oh. AFL is now to the point. It's like you cannot fumble. If you fumble in any way, you're gonna pay for it.
Yep.
I love Aussie commercials. They're awesome.
They're the best, man. They're way better than American commercials,
uh,
without a doubt.
in so many ways.
American commercials suck.
Macca's. I love Macca's.
There's so many Amy commercials.
Yeah, well, it's one of the official sponsors, so
Yeah.
doesn't
So
surprise
no
me.
surprise, right?
Yep, that and the fact that Bunnings Warehouse, Harvey Norman, stuff like if you are
Is
not an
Bunnings like
Australian,
Walmart?
Bunnings is kind of like yeah, actually no, Bunnings is kind of like Home Depot
Oh,
or
gotcha.
Lowe's.
Gotcha.
But the even which is really funny because they're actually more known for their sausage snag more than anything.
You know what? I can say that I've been to Home Depot here and went for a hot dog. So they do things a little bit differently. Oh, that's awesome. Oh, and
Right
so
now, Port
easy.
Adelaide gets it out and it comes right back
Oh,
in.
what's what's more what's a more distinguishing feature on minivan there? The blonde hair or the sleeves? I can't tell which one's more visible.
Well, he trimmed the hair, so right now the sleeves for me,
Yeah,
because
they did that
when
for
he had
just this round.
when he had the mop when he had the mop, that I thought he was a little bit more, he stood out even more. I'm
Oh,
trying to double
that's
check and see if the
so
ball fully
close,
crossed the
man.
line. No, it's not.
Oh,
Oh, it might.
it might. Oh, I can't tell. I
Go back to
cannot
it. Go
tell
back
from
to it.
that.
Go back to it. Go back to it. Go back to it.
Oh,
Oh, I
that is
can't. I
so
think
close.
I think because the flag, I don't think it's fully across.
I don't
I
think
think
it
that's going to be a
is.
ball up.
I think it like maybe by like a couple
It's a
inches.
great play. It's a great play by Ginnivan to keep. They're trying
No
to keep
score.
it
Yep.
back in play and not just let it go. Yep.
It's a good call. Good call.
Swanee's CWS is about to start back up again.
Okay. Um, and that's another one thing.
Even though that one might be a little more at this point, if it keeps up the way it's going, that one might be more entertaining.
Right? Man, we're what come for the Derby, stay for Collingwood and Port.
Well, the
Man.
crazy part is I'm pretty sure that game's going to end first. Well, another shit bounce. Pull your head in, umpire. Come on.
All right. Well, we're here for the Derby. I'm gonna watch them. Gonna watch the Giants no matter how much they suck. Let's get that game back on, boys. Let's go. Come back. Let's pull the Collingwood. It's time to come back. That's what that means. Let's go, boys.
That'll actually work. Holy crap.
That did.
That's one of those handball into random space and actually worked out. When
Sure,
you
man.
first handball, I'm
Sure.
like, if that goes out of bounds, it's going to be an intention. It's gonna be insufficient attempt.
Man, Rowbottom has been killing on that tackle game.
Yeah, he's usually
Damn.
one of our higher tackle. He's one of our higher tackle guys. That's his
But
game,
8.5. That's a great number, man. That's damn good.
and that's a semi tackle. That was a semi tackle there. Him and Mills are our tackling machines. They're the guys that are absolutely, they go for it.
Oh
Like
yeah,
that.
they're gonna call that one the mark. Yeah,
That's a mark. It's a mark.
yeah.
You gotta
It's my
remember,
football brain.
unlike the NFL, he's only got to possess it for a second.
Yep. And
There are
honestly,
times there are times I wish the NFL would go to that rule,
yo, I
because
was
I think you'd have
thinking
more
about it,
catches.
dude. It would be make for a lot cooler plays, but also I really do think if we want to talk about football, like American football for a second, gridiron for you folks. Still think that the college catch rule is the best compromise between the two because I think going to the AFL possession kind of rules is a little bit too much of a change, but going 1 foot in instead of two, or 1 foot down or 1 foot in instead of two for possession is exciting. You can make some crazy plays out of that one. Imagine Calvin Johnson only needed to get 1 foot in. So I prefer the college rule there, just like how I prefer college overtime to NFL overtime.
True, but if you really think about it too, if you went to the AFL catch where you only have to possess it for a second, you might actually get more fumbles.
Oh,
Because think
yeah,
about how many times the AFL they catch the ball and on the way down they drop the ball.
that's a
If you
good
consider
point.
that a catch, when he hits the ground, if he hits the ground, the ball comes out, then it's fumble. It's an interesting
Huh,
it's an interesting thought process to it.
definitely something I have to take a look at.
It could potentially lead to more turnovers, which potentially, Papley, you little ripper.
Whoa, dude, freaking
Holy
Papley,
crap.
bro. Oh, damn it.
You little ripper. Oh my
How the
God.
hell?
Sucked in. Oh
Oh,
my gosh.
dude,
Oh my gosh.
dude.
When
It's
he first
magic.
grabbed it, I'm like, he's gonna get tackled. He's gonna get tackled because there's three guys and he bounces
That's
off one,
that's insane,
gives the candy, and then goes into his
dude.
dugout celebration. Oh my God. if he doesn't make all Australian, I'm gonna be pissed because this guy's
Yeah,
having a
he
seat. This
needs to
guy
make
is
it.
out of his skin right now.
He needs to make it. It'd be stupid if he doesn't.
Port Adelaide just got to go back. Powell Pepper with one on with a dribble goal. Hello,
Take what you can get at this point.
good tackle. The old grab him with both arms and then put your feet around him to make sure he can't go anywhere. I love that tackle. Hickey's starting to win a few. That's going to go out on the full. Hickey's starting to win a few ruck contests, which is not something he was doing in the first half.
And it's horribly terrifying.
Uh-oh.
That's
They'll give up the point. That's actually
Whoa.
No, they didn't. Wow. That
Wow.
might backfire.
Well, they're just going to give up 6 now. Or
No, they didn't.
maybe not. Okay.
Good tackle. Good tackle there by Hogan. Hogan made a good tackle there because if he doesn't tackle Rowbottom there, that could get ugly. Yep. Yes, Kingy, we figured that out.
What did he say?
If the
I'll
team,
have the
if
commentary
the
on.
team, if the team that's going forward gets the ball, it could lead to a goal.
What is that even
Brilliant.
supposed to mean? Yeah.
Absolutely brilliant.
Hey, Donnie,
analysis
did you know
there.
if you kick the ball through the 2 middle pipes, you get 6 points?
I didn't know that. That's a new one to me.
Jeez, dude.
Really? Come on, AFL Live app. Stop doing this to me.
What is he doing?
I mean, thank God this game. Thank God, unfortunately, and again, I say this respectfully, that it's not any closer than it is, or I'd be madder than a bag of hornets right now.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about things getting out of hand or the score changing anytime soon.
High tackle. And Taylor's pissed. That's one of those. The only reason it's a high tackle is because he's bent over to grab the footy and he gets bumped in the side of the shoulder. That's the only reason it's a high tackle. It's one of those you have a lumbering ruckman that just happens to make a mistake because it's like he can't stop himself before he runs into the guy who leaned over to grab the footy.
Right. Trip made
This
good
is
point.
it's one of those accidental free kicks. You don't intentionally try to do it. It's just one of those that happens.
Yeah. You think if Papley doesn't make All Australian, the justification is because he missed 6 games?
Yeah, but the thing though is that though he's missed 6 games, he really has played really well. He really has put up the statistics to kind of make up for the fact that he didn't play in 6 games. I mean, if you look at his impact over the last 4 or 5 weeks, I mean, it's hard to argue he isn't one of the most impactful players in the entire league. I mean, when you have the most score involved, see what I mean by there at Bruce. It's that way. He wasn't trying to tackle him there. It's just one of those where he can't stop himself, and Rowbottom fumbles it at just he almost fumbles it at the right time, which is weird to say, but Rowbottom fumbles it in just the right way. Well, and you feel bad for Bruce there because there's nothing he can do. He's not trying to. It's just Rowbottom fumbles it in the right way, so he's not standing up. So Bruce goes barreling into him when he's leaned over to pick up the footy. Well, it's the way it. Yeah, unfortunately, it's the way it goes. You hate saying it that way. Yep. So 3/4 time in the other one, it's around a 3-goal margin for Collingwood by 17. So
maybe their fans won't catch a heart attack this round.
I'll have to see. There's still a full quarter to go.
So plenty of time, Collingwood fans.
Good ball, Dill.
And Buddy's going to kick it from way out
there. Have a crack.
Yeah, okay.
Nice pass off to Ryan Clark.
And Buddy's been a bit of a team player tonight, hasn't he?
He's been kind of locked up. Sam Taylor's done another brilliant job on him. Taylor has done really good.
If they wow, that was hopefully intentional that he missed that bad.
He hit the wrong part of the footy. Yeah. He didn't get onto the end of it to where it would hook.
Gotcha.
So it kind of hooked, but it didn't.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's one of the things. Like, I'm okay with losing Tim Taranto this season, but I need them to keep Sam for a long while. He is fantastic. I mean, this young guy that was able to,
Oh, it's a great kick. It's a great kick, but it's just too many people.
young guy, especially. I mean, the game I'm gonna remember so much from him specifically is late in the season when they beat Geelong, because Sam Taylor had a fantastic game defensively.
Yeah, Taylor and Isaac Cummings have been your superstars in the back end. That again, as a GWS fan, there's some bright lights.
There is.
There are some guys that honestly, like legitimately, you can sit here and smile about because you know that if they can continue to play that way, and if they get a full team performance,
Superstars.
you've got some great gun players on your roster. Like I
Mm-hmm.
said, Cummings Taylor. I think Connor Iden when he gets back
Mm.
healthy is a really good player. I think Lee Lear is your Lee
Lee
Lear
Clear
is
going to be a
your
moneymaker.
future. He could potentially be your future intercept marking guy, which I think every team needs one of those guys. Every team has
No,
one,
I really do
and
think
if you can get an elite one, you can definitely change a game
different
if you
spelling,
can
same
take away teams'
pronunciation.
attacking ability.
But I really do think Lear has the ability to be like a Lear when it comes to intercept marking capabilities, because Lear is, um,
Mm-hmm.
one of the best, if not the best, in the game when it comes to intercept marking when he's on. You know what I mean?
Yep.
He's
Yep.
textbook.
100% agree. Like Alir is one of those guys when he's on, it's hard to argue that he isn't an all Australian type of player.
Exactly. He's insane, man. It also helps that he has a great body when it comes to snagging intercepts. Wait,
He's scary. He's scary because he looks like it's kind of like Majak Daw for the longest time. These guys that if you look at them, they look like they're built out of granite. Buddy
there's one
Franklin,
for Buddy.
Buddy Franklin
I wonder.
with the right foot,
I
not
think
even the left.
if
That was his right.
if Lear didn't slip, he might have had a better chance, but I still think that one goes through. Damn.
Well, the crazy part is that was his weak foot. That was his right foot.
It doesn't matter with Buddy. He's one of the greatest to ever do it, so he could probably kick it
Very
with his third foot.
very interesting. Lika Lear gets the matchup with Armati. That's a superstar amount of talent there.
That's Buddy's first of the game too?
Yeah, that's his only goal of the game, and that's what's also scary about this Swans team is that the spread of goal kickers over these last few weeks. I mean, there hasn't the most anybody's gotten in a game was Isaac Key with 4 a couple weeks ago, but other than that, they've spread the offense out. It hasn't been one guy kicking 5 or 6. It's been two or three or 4 guys kicking 2, 3, and 4.
Mm-hmm. I might have missed that. He said that Buddy actually coached Sam Taylor up mid game once, talking about how to hold his ground in the
Mm-hmm.
1v1. I missed that. That's sweet.
Yeah, Buddy's an interesting character when it comes to it. He's very much one of those that he. It was kind of like I remember a couple years ago that Jared Ruffhead from the Hawthorne Hawks was actually caught in a VFL game coaching one of the players
That's a
for the
heck of a
Western
bounce.
Bulldogs
Damn.
on where to stand. That is evil.
What kind of
That is an
bounce
evil
magic
bounce.
is that? Damn it.
That is an absolutely evil bounce.
At least it was only 1 point, but dude, that is what have been these bounces?
That was
tonight,
evil.
man?
That was an absolutely evil bounce.
Damn.
And you hate those because there's nothing you can do. You're
No.
running full tilt. There's
It just
nothing
is
you
what
can
it
do.
is.
Absolutely nothing you can do.
Yeah,
The
dude.
only thing you can do is just pray to God they miss.
Would love to see if Buddy gets into
Literally.
coaching when he hangs up the boots.
Well, he's such a footy nuffy. He's even said that. He said he used to watch footy 24/7 all the time when he was younger
I believe it.
because it was just something he just loved this. He loves the sport and he loves learning about it and everything that happens. So it's like that's the crazy. Whether he becomes a coach or not, we'll have to see. I mean, I think he's got the nous to, but whether the question will be is does he want to?
I at least want to hear him on commentary.
Rampy probably got away with a dangerous tackle there.
And I just imagine that I feel like Buddy would be awesome on color commentary.
Yep.
with his analysis, and also I just like him. His he doesn't have like a
Robe
huge
on him.
personality, but I enjoy when his interviews and stuff like that. He's a good listen. Looks like Collingwood might be able to pull away with it. 80-57 now. Yeah, but he's just been so good for the game. I remember the first thing you told, one of the biggest things you told me before last season started was that I'd finally be able to watch Buddy Franklin. Um, that's one of the things I've enjoyed the most watching footy. It's Buddy.
And the crazy part about it is that you're not even getting the best version of Buddy. Like the best version of Buddy was those early 2000, was around those late 2000s with Hawthorn, just before he moved to Sydney.
Mm-hmm.
He was, I mean, he was box office. Like him and Cyril Rioli together. Just, yeah, Dane Rampy is lucky. He's very lucky he didn't get a dangerous tackle, and wouldn't be surprised if they look at this MRO wise. I hate saying that.
Think he's going to get a fine for that one?
It's close. If he gets suspended, it won't surprise me.
I don't know if I like a suspension in that case.
I don't like a suspension,
But you could see the league
buddy.
giving him one.
You wouldn't shout because I think it also, the only thing that'll help him out is the fact is that Taranto is going to continue playing.
That's fair. Well, it's because we all know the AFL and giving out punishments based on the results of the action.
Oh,
Ugh.
good second effort. That'll be ball up. Yeah, Haynes kept a for sure goal there. If Lloyd gets that through, Papley's on goal with nobody to stop him. Haynes saved a goal on that one. Another great tackle. One thing the Swans have been really good at over the last few rounds is they've been sticking tackles.
Mm.
And if you can stick your tackles first attempt, so you're not getting don't argue or you're not having tackles broke on you,
Mm-hmm.
that's just such pain.
Oh, got a little bit of space there. The Giants have
Buddy.
been biting on these all night. Oh, and Buddy is about to kick another 50-plus meter goal. All right. Yeah, fair enough. Chuck this one up to 6 points.
Unless somebody comes free, I think he has a crack.
You know what? At least I can enjoy this. Buddy kicking goals never gets old for me. Let's see what we got here.
He's got a chance. He's got a chance to get fourth all time if he can get to 1,057. I think he came into this round 1,033. He's got one, so that's 1,034.
Oh,
this one's not coming back.
That
he got a little too close to Sam Taylor on the mark, and
Yeah,
he didn't get any pull on it. That's one of those you wouldn't mind him bombing it to the top of the goal square.
I'll take a
he doesn't
jinx.
have that distance. He doesn't have that distance. As he's gotten a little bit older, that distance has left him a little bit. So
Let's go GWS. That's that's 6 points you guys have to worry about in this massive comeback we got going on. Just waiting for it to start. That's all.
Paddy McCartan.
Oh, boys.
Ooh. That could have been somewhat risky. There it is.
I love that back shot of the camera angle
another
just
one.
because it really shows you.
But see the overlap of the leads, one after another another.
I just love that camera angle because it really shows just like how damn wide these fields are.
And the crazy part about it is the SCG is wide and short because if you see there, that square, if you look on the MCG, like if you watch the Collingwood matchup, look at how much distance there is between the 50-meter arc and the side of the square, and then you look at the SCG, there's like 2 steps between the 50 the 50 and the goal square. So it shows you how much shorter the SCG is compared to like the MCG and Optus Stadium.
MCG is the biggest field.
It's one of the things that I kind of do love about footy is the fact that unlike NHL and NBA and all that, where it's like all the fields and all the courts are exactly
It's
the same,
more
like everything
baseball.
is exactly the same. Well,
Hmm.
the only thing with baseball a little bit is you do have the different dimensions when it comes to the fences.
Yeah.
So you have a little bit of home advantage when
And a
it
little
comes
bit
to
of the
that.
battleground
Like
too, especially when it comes to Coliseum.
exactly. So it's like so that's one of the things that I love about footy is the fact is that each arena, each field is a little bit different.
Hmm.
Like it's you have fields that are long and you have fields that are long and skinny, like the Geelong's GMHBA.
GMHBA, right?
You've got a wide short ground here at the SCG, and then you've got super long, super wide, super big Optus Stadium at MCG.
Is
So
Optus and
each
MCG about
stadium's
the same size field?
they intentionally made Optus Stadium the same dimensions as the MCG.
Oh,
If
so we
Reed
could
kicks
switch
this
off grand
goal,
finals. Very nice. Oh man, I could probably poke
Port
a beehive
Adelaide's
by
got it
talking
down
about
to
that.
Port Adelaide's got it down to 12.
They kick another.
He dragged it in.
All right, I guess I'm just
Now the
waiting for
Port
them to
Adelaide
update the
caller.
scoreboard on the at the bottom right. You
I've
got
got
it
it
opened
I've got it
up.
on my phone right now.
Yeah,
I've got it on my phone right now.
I
So
I gotta keep my phone open
it, they got
for
a
the live
they got a
stream.
free kick in the goal square. Powell Pepper caught Dacos dragging the ball back in,
Damn,
but then stuffed up the kick.
Daco's been not having the best of games today. Well, a couple little
Well, there's
mistakes.
two of them. You got to
Sorry, yeah, sorry. I thought I meant the Dacos brothers. So let's just go with that one because I don't I really on the fly I do not know those
Alir
two.
just saved a goal.
Oh man. Okay.
Yep, here's where the Swans, if they want to, they can play kicking. They can play kick mark.
You ain't gotta do anything you want. Gee, the rest ain't gonna stop them today.
Well, you're not gonna burn 6 minutes. So this isn't something that's gonna last the entire time. But this is something that you can run 2 minutes off the clock and burn up some energy by GWS by making them defend.
Gonna speed up game time a little bit. I'll take it.
That'll work. Oh,
Oh,
they keep
yeah.
going towards Buddy, and he's just not open. I want Buddy to almost turn himself into nothing but a crummer, like crumb stuff. Don't make leads.
Mm.
Oh, Dill.
And that was good pressure by Alir.
It's skewed
I'll
on
give him all the
it's
credit.
skewed off the side of his boot. That was just a shit
Just
kick.
amazing defensive
It's
play
skewed,
by Alir. Nothing to.
who was 3 meters behind
He
him
felt
and
the
had
pressure.
no pressure
He
on
felt
him.
the pressure, Donnie. There's this giant man looking over your shoulder. You're gonna mess up a kick. It's just what happens.
But the other thing too that I love that camera angles, it shows you the communication and the movement
Mm-hmm.
because it's one of the things that I really want to go see a game live because I want to see the movement from behind because it's yep, high tackle. Nope.
No. Oh. Okay. Thought that'd be one they
Here
call.
we go. That'll be another one. Yeah, I want to see it again.
Well, he does kind of lean into it.
It's it's one of those
I'm okay with that not being called. I don't think it's egregious.
it's one of those whatever way you call it. I'm not going to argue with it. I can see it
Yeah.
both ways, and
Yeah.
that's my take.
Yeah. That's why I'm
I
okay
can
with
see
it.
I can see where it looks like he leans down into it to get the tackle high. I can see that, but I can also see that it seems like the only contact that was going to happen was above the shoulder.
That's one of the close ones that is going to be a lose-lose situation for the umpires, no matter what they do. So I'm not going to give the benefit of the doubt on that one that they got the right call.
Rampy, why are you spoiling the intercept mark king? Come on. He did. Rampy spoiled. McCartan had an intercept mark there, and Rampy spoiled it.
That has to be so irritating. when that
Jeez.
happens.
Well, it is the one thing that sometimes irritates me sometimes with the Swans a little bit is that how many I hate this one. I can see both ways.
No
He
matter
keeps
what.
his head he keeps his head low. He keeps his head low and drives into the hand, but Fox never really does try to lower himself to put him in a better tackling place. So
Yeah, I guaranteed that's going to be the one talked about this round. At least one of them.
in the back, nope, didn't call it.
Buddy.
Buddy just gotta go. Buddy just gotta go.
There he goes. There he goes. There's number 2.
And I look over just as Port kicks a goal. It's a six
Ooh.
point game now.
Pork coming back. Okay.
And there's still 12 minutes left. It's Collingwood has to play a close game.
Well, here comes the blood pressure is rising again. Damn.
That's probably in the back. Armati probably gets away with that one.
That's funny. On the Derby broadcast, the Port score at the Port Collingwood score on the bottom is a goal behind still because they just flipped it to 69 about a minute ago.
Oh, Bruce versus Papley. That's not a fair fight.
I don't like that one, Donnie. I don't like that one.
That is not a fair fight at all.
I think one might have a little bit of a speed advantage.
Just the tiniest bit.
When it comes to ruck battles, I like that. And when it comes to, just open field defense, maybe not as much.
When it comes to pure strength, Bruce has got that one all day long. When it comes to speed, Bruce is just a little undermanned.
Let's just say
there.
we didn't bring him to be a track star.
Toby for another one.
Oh,
Yep,
get there.
he got it.
That's my captain. There we
Ooh,
go.
that's not good. Jeremy Howe's been subbed out of the Collingwood game.
Oh boy. Hey, but look at this, Donnie. The Giants might actually be able to break 50 points this game. There's still plenty of time for that. Let's go, baby. Gosh, man. That's all I want. Might be a little bit too much to ask for, but that's all I want.
Man, that bounce was almost cruel. That thing hit the end of it and went
really
directly
close, huh?
left. Port has a shot on goal right now, down 9.
Oh, thanks, Toby. You're the only reason I smile
Marshall.
while watching footy.
Papley? What the fuck was that? Oh, Papley, what was that? Nice mark. That landing was fun. He'll be feeling that one tomorrow. It's a body contact one. I think he ended up getting the free kick. I don't think he marked that. Robbie Fox with a pickup of his life. Papley took one to the back of the dome, but no call. Can't really complain too much. The Swans have gotten a couple of gift. What the hell was that? That's Blakey. Tough as nails, that little bastard. He
And
took his shoulder right to the top of the head.
that's a tough one to take. That's
My
a
worry
tough
with
one.
that one is concussion.
Yeah. Luckily for him, it looks more just a shot, not necessarily. I wouldn't be too worried about concussion here. A lot of the times, though, you see it. I mean, whether I've seen it watching football or watching MMA, a lot of it comes from the whiplash, not the initial hit. So he looks like he should be fine there. Of course, I'm just playing armchair
I'm playing a
doctor, so
doctor
it is
on
what it is.
television, right?
Yeah, right.
I only play a doctor on TV, right?
You guys want to see my doctor's degree? I can go print out real quick. I could find a stock one. Graduate from
Fine.
Fort Long University.
You can almost make the argument there for 50-meter inside the protected zone because we're inside the 15 meters. But you could also say Lloyd came out of it quick, which led to that.
It's just scratch. I agree.
He finally marked it.
There we
Taking a couple
go.
grabs, but he got it.
There we go, baby. Love you, Lear. Bright future coming. I just like one of my favorite things is how long it took for either the AFL Twitter, the Giants Twitter, or whatever to get the spelling of his name correct. Because there's a few different versions you saw going around. Oh.
That doesn't
Ah.
happen very often. Toby Green getting tackled. The only issue is a dump kick into a defensive wall.
Get to Toby. I'll take that.
He'll get an after the siren kicked in the quarter.
I'll take that. Come on, Jesse. Come on, Jesse. Give me something here, baby.
Yep.
Ladies and gentlemen, just like that, the Giants come all the way back to score a couple big goals to cap off the third quarter. They kick one after the siren to only be down 50. Let's go, boys. Damn.
Port Adelaide just marked it about 2 meters out, extreme angle, but 2 out. So, but they're down 17. Collingwood to kick a couple of goals, so this is massive here to get it under 2 goals.
Ooh, and Port. Okay, 87-76.
It's through. Yep.
Ooh, that's a fun game. This is
still 6:46. Still plenty of time left.
See, this is a cool thing. This is a game we're hoping for, and I think what I'm going to do, at least so you guys you can watch on stream, especially with the scoreboard. We're going to watch the end of the Collingwood and Port Adelaide game here, especially with us going to quarter time for the Derby.
Well, you got the quarter time break a little bit, so this will pretty much get done. It may get to closer to the end of that game, yeah.
Exactly. So
not all the way to the end. I think the Swans game will restart before this one's over.
Oh yeah.
There's not a lot of stoppages.
Probably going to kill about might have like a few minutes left to go in this one. By the time we get back,
there's 6 left. It all just depends on stoppage time.
Well, when Mason Cox kicks 6 goals within the next 5 minutes, we're going to have plenty of stoppage time. Yeah, Trey. I'm certainly glad that Bruce is is not a Swanee. He makes me happy. I like to see him in the charcoal and orange. I would hate to play against him. That'd be a pain. You think Nathan Buckley comes back to coach at all?
I don't think so. I think he's super happy what he's doing in the media. So I think
Right.
he's out for
With how quiet
good.
it's been on his front, or like on
Well,
his name hasn't
he's
been
basically
connected.
he went on his show that they do on Fox called Best on Ground,
Mm-hmm.
and he basically said he has no interest in coaching. He has no interest in coaching right now.
I
He's
don't blame
super
him.
happy with with what he's doing in the media. He's super happy. So I think right now he is very very content that if his coaching career is done, that he's leaving. He left in an okay place.
He
So
left on a good note. He left as a legend, and also he's killing it in his commentary role. Probably he's making more money with more freedom than being a coach anyway.
many would say yes.
So he's living a good life right now. He deserves it. So I have a little less stressful. Just analyzing footy instead of having to coach every week.
Mm-hmm. Well, and he gets multiple paychecks too. Not only does he do Fox Footy, but he also has SEN. So
Exactly. It's a good little revenue stream he has going on.
well, whether it's I mean his coaching and making nice coin, but
The media doesn't have to work with the salary cap now, do they?
no, not exactly.
Ooh, good.
I mean, if you want to make money, you got to have a little bit of a you got to have a little bit of a
Of
salary cap.
course.
But
That was. It's just tip mark right there. Ooh, that was a big intercept there. I had to check on the ladder. Well, a loss here might at least get Port Adelaide to being super close to being officially eliminated from finals.
if they lose this game, they pretty much are, because it'll put them at least 2 games back with only 3 games to play.
When you see a mathematical elimination, that's the term we all like to use, I think. That was a little bit more than 15. Another huge intercept mark there. Damn, Port's been able to get close. No cigars. You think with the time they got left, they're trying to force things a little bit?
They kind of have to, because you don't want to leave it too late. But
Mm-hmm.
the thing though is that if you take too many risks, it could cost you on the scoreboard. But sometimes you got to take risks to be able to put points on the board as well. So the only thing though is it's really opened this game up big time.
Mm-hmm.
So which could either get them back in the game, or it could blow this game up to where Collingwood could win this by a nice easy margin. So
When the hell did McDonald's start selling cream brulees? So I got caught watching the advertising boards on the back.
well, Aussie Macca's has a few things that US Macca's don't. So
Apparently, it looks a little bit better. Although it's still probably not that good, but maybe never been a fan of. McDonald's or fast food like that. Oh boy, man. 2 goals, minute 50 left. It's getting close. It's getting real close.
But the problem is they keep kicking to bad options. There's so many bad on Port Adelaide keeps kicking to bad options. My gosh.
And
Every
this
time I look
loss,
down, they're kicking. Every time I look down, they're kicking it to a 2-on-1 disadvantage. I'm like, what the heck are they doing?
you think, assuming that Collingwood's able to hold on to over the last minute 42, is this going to be the final nail in Hinkley's coffin? If we were to
Some
name one,
people would say yes.
yeah,
Some people would say yes. Some people would say no. It depends. And there's many in the Port Adelaide faithful that are not happy that
yeah.
that this season is a massive disappointment, and Hinkley should be given his walking papers. There's some people that say that he was dealt a bad hand to start it, and he shouldn't be punished
Well,
for
that's a
something
big
that's
goal.
not his fault.
All right, within one. Who knows?
Yeah,
And the
that's a
way
massive goal there for Port.
the way footy
That is
goes, you
massive.
can
103, and
it's plenty of time. You can score.
down to a goal.
You get one good kick off the bounce, and you're in kicking range.
You gotta win. You gotta win the bounce.
Who's wrecking for Port?
Either Finlayson or Dixon
Okay.
versus either Cameron or Cox, depending.
Well, Mason's been looking good on the ruck battles so far, table. It's gonna be a big one for him. Let's come through, Mason. Come through, big fella.
Push.
Oh, okay. Didn't have to come through that time. Guess not.
Well, that look at that statistic there. Center clearance is not in Port Adelaide's favor. It's close. Uh-oh, they may get
Oh,
it. Yep,
they
they
were
got the center
close.
clearance.
They were close. Oh, you missed the intercept mark there. Oh, damn.
Yeah, but a
That.
dump kick, but then drop mark. O'Leary will
Oh,
get this.
oh, what are they calling?
Nothing.
What's going on there?
High
I missed it.
contact.
Okay.
Free
Oh,
kick, Port Adelaide.
that's game. That's game. Damn, dude. Damn. That's a tough way to end things. Well,
So that's a dumb kick by
Collingwood.
Myachek because you be a dumb kick by Myachek.
That's a big win for Collingwood right there. That's a big win.
Yep. Survived again.
Hey, they do it. The Port Adelaide is now, or sorry, Collingwood's now 6-0 on the year in one-score games.
What a ball. Oh, finish this, Flo. Finish this.
Well,
Miss to the left. My gosh.
back to the Derby.
That would have been a goal. That would have been a goal for the ages that goes through.
Ah, I missed something possibly cool or almost cool.
Ollie Florent kicks it up, gets a couple, and continues the run down the field, gets it back, and just misses to the left. Get that, Dell. He tried.
And like I was saying earlier, I truly think that that's a legitimately good win for Collingwood because Port's don't just look at the ladder position to determine if it was good or not. Port's a good team. Port's arguably a finals team.
No, I'm not going to disagree with you on that
No,
one.
I know
I'm
you
not going to
weren't.
disagree
Yeah,
with you at all.
yeah. More like if anyone watching this, man, that's a good win. That's a good win for Collingwood. You want to know what's funny? You're just going to have sort of Collingwood. I would actually really enjoy this, Tony. They're just going to have
Mm.
unconvincing, quote, lucky win week after round after round until they bring home a premiership this season. They're just going to win every game
Guess
by six
we'll
or
have to
less.
see. They're doing what they need to do. That's the
Uh,
biggest thing there. They're doing what they need to do.
That'd be so funny, man. I hope
So
so. That would be my favorite thing if they win the flag this year, with every game from now on
I
being six
just
points or less. It's not gonna happen, but it would make me so happy.
I don't see them doing that. I mean, they've got the possibility because what they're doing. I just have a hard time seeing them do it because I think when they get to finals, the game is going to pick up intensity, and whether they can maintain that type of effort for most likely at least three, if not four finals games, that's difficult. So
Yeah,
yeah, I'm not doubting the Collingwood's not good. You win games, you can't fluff your way through that. There's something about the way they're winning that concerns me because you can't keep doing it after a while. As much as it prepares you for the finals, you just can't. Pull it to the left. Well, the pace it's going at the pace it's going, the the history is going to seem very, very similar. When the Swans win, they win by more than 20.
that's what I was saying. As soon as that first quarter was over, I was like, oh, it's gonna be one of those. All right, fair enough.
Here we go again.
Here we go.
Well, it's not that GWS is playing badly. It's just as Kingy just kind of said, it's the efforts in some situations have cost them.
Yeah. Also, I mean, I'm just gonna say, no matter what,
Oh, worst possible person to fumble to.
Sydney is just the better team too, so that also doesn't help.
And he overhooked it. Brisbane and Geelong both have a game in hand. Oh, jeez. Probably helped his kick. Blakey. Heaney's gonna get a free kick on goal because Lee Lear decided to push Blakey after he kicked it.
Well, first game stuff happens. Apparently,
Yeah.
they're going to chalk you down to that one. I'm okay with that.
having a back and forth conversation with a fellow Swans person that kind of brought up your point. He thinks the 6 games at the start of the year is probably going to keep him out of it. It's I don't know. It's like his stats are just so good right now that unless he has a severe drop off and like has a couple of games where he absolutely does nothing, I think he slipped
I think he should.
because
I'll go with you.
there really isn't anybody that's going to slip into that pocket role
Yeah.
that he can play so well. Like Charlie Cameron can. Like honestly, I think Colonel Hawkins, Jeremy Cameron, um, Charlie Cameron, and Papley, I think, are 5 of your 6. The question is, do they slip a midfielder like a Petraka into that 6th forward role,
Yeah.
or do you see a Heaney, a Charlie Curnow, a Harry Mackay type fit into that front? It just kind of depends.
It's a good question. I mean, were you the one kind of beefing with the AFL slipping, kind of messing with the players when it comes to all Australian from last season?
Well, again, it's one of those that it irritates me that the guys that are full time midfielders are mostly midfielders. Like 90% of their plays in the midfield, when they get put in the forward line, it just irritates the snot out of me. Like it really does. Like I don't understand that. I'm like, if you put a guy like a Jake Stringer in there that plays midfield but mostly plays forward, then I understand it. But Petraka's 90% of his play is going to be in the midfield. He is not a forward. He can play forward, but he's not a forward. He's a midfielder. So it's like I hate when I see all Australians where he's a halfback flank. I'm like, he's not a halfback flank. He doesn't play halfback flank. He plays center mid. That's what he plays. Stop putting him in a position he's not there. It's like it's the same thing with wings. I don't like seeing guys that are mostly inside mids being put on the wings just so we can have more inside mids. I'm like, no, give Langdon his credit. Give a winger the credit, and Isaac Smith, some of these winger guys that play out there, because it's not an easy job. That's not an easy position to play. Give them some credit. I mean, if a few inside mids don't get on it, well, you know what? Tough luck. You're in a position. There's a lot of really good players
Crazy concept
like
there,
Patty.
Donnie.
Like I think Patty Cripps. I think Patty Cripps is there. The ruck position is one of those that thankfully it's not as difficult as it could be.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is one of those years. Timmy English, Sam Darcy, Max Gawn are really, I think, are the 3 that are fighting for the 2 spots. Honestly,
Yeah.
the only thing that kills English is the fact is that he's missed a couple of games. Like in the defensive side, probably the toughest one to fit in, besides the center mid, is halfback line, because you've got guys. Hayden Young, Adam Saw, Doherty, Sinclair from the St. Kilda Saints. You've got a Bailey Dale from the Western Bulldogs. You've got so many great center half and center back flankers. You've got so many great halfback players that it's like it's you're not going to have a bad choice, but the issue is that you're going to leave somebody off that you're like, damn it, why can't I get him in the team? Because like the fullback line, most likely you're gonna have Sicily back there. You're probably gonna get May. And then the other question would be is do you slip Stewart in the back pocket, which I think would work. That's probably what I would do. I would probably, even though I think he plays more of the halfback line, but I'd probably go Sicily and Atkin and oh my gosh, the Geelong guy that got suspended, but he's still playing a really good. I got it out. So I don't know. This all Australian is going to be tough. It's going to be a tough year because there's so many great performing players, and so many good. Like I said, the center mid is impossible. You're never going to please everybody. There's somebody that's going to get snubbed.
Well, you can say that for any kind of list.
Don't even have to try very hard. I can sit here and think of at least 6 or 7 for 3 spots.
That's pretty good.
Like legitimately not even trying. Like Chad, like you could say Chad Warner, Patrick Cripps, Christian Petraka, Clary Oliver, Lockie Neal, Tom Mitchell. Like that's not even trying very hard. That's not going. That's not going. Andrew Brayshaw, which most likely sounds like he's the leader in the Brownlow medal, so you'd think he'd be there. So you put him, you put Christian Petrarca or Clary Oliver from Melbourne. You can put Chad Warner, Tom Mitchell. There's so many. Lockie Neal from the Brisbane Lions, Tuke Miller from Gold Coast Suns. I mean, you could say Stephen Canelio or Taranto from GWS. Like legitimately, there's a plethora that you're almost arguing over who's who. Oh, bud. Okay, he slipped it through. I was like, when he first kicked it, I was like, you got to be kidding me.
Oh, that
Come
would have
on.
been
Don't tell
great.
me he's going to miss it to the right and it slipped back over to
That
the
would have
left and
been
went through.
too good.
Oh, man. So,
Jeez, dude. No, my intentions definitely is not fully on this game. I am working
and
right now,
Taylor's played
fellas.
really well against Franklin. And Taylor's played an incredible game against Franklin. Like, honestly, he's been their best defender, taking Franklin out and still making some impact with intercept marks and in moving the ball down the field. It's hard to argue Taylor has not been their best defender.
Definitely would not be an overstatement if you're calling Sam Taylor the best defender.
Well, he's done something that's not easy to do.
Hey, fellas. Yeah, you guys might not have seen the score up there for a bit now. I'm on the graphic design grind right now. Catch me, Fourth and Long Media, on Instagram and Twitter. I think I make decent stuff. Shout out Canva.
Yeah, Sydney with his 60-point lead right now is past Brisbane for fourth. Again, Brisbane
Mm.
and Geelong still have to play, so
Oh
so
yeah,
it's
good
still a
point.
game in hand type of situation. But right now, the points, Sydney's in the top four with Collingwood.
Damn. Well, what a top four this is. I love it.
It is play on.
I love it, Donnie. Can't say I was expecting to see Collingwood up here.
I don't think there's a lot of people that
Even Collingwood fans.
Oh, Paps. Look what I found. That's one of those ones I wish more teams did. It's like look and make sure that if you're gonna have a marking contest, you don't spoil each other.
Let's go rule of thumb.
There's another one. That's not good. I remember I was telling you about says one guy doesn't have to kick six to win this, and when three guys kick three goals in one game.
Yep. I believe Collingwood, Lions, and Bombers have some very good father son players coming up. Trent says. I think Collingwood especially, right?
Well, Collingwood, like I said, you've got both the Dacos brothers, and like I said, Daco, the one Dacos in a normal draft, if you didn't have father sons and all that, probably would have been the number one overall kid. So it just, like I said, it just that's why sometimes when I hear people yell about the Swans Academy, I'm like, there's one thing my favorite part about the people that scream about the Swans Academy is they forget. It's like there are some father sons players that honestly, if it weren't for them being a father son, they wouldn't be playing for the team that they're going to play for. Like that's just the honest to God truth. So it's like, and the fact, and like I said, I always bring up this statistic, and I think it's one of those that always ends it is that everyone's the Swans Academy is such an advantage for the Swans. It's like you are
How
aware
many people?
2,500 kids, 2,500
There's the stat.
kids have went through the Swans Academy, and if I remember correctly, the total that have actually played AFL games is only like 16. 16. That is less than 1%. So this argument that the Swans Academy is this massive advantage is just hogwash on so many levels. Yes, have they produced have has the academy produced top 10 level kids? Yes, I will not disagree with you on that. Heaney, Mills, Braden Campbell are all top 10 draft. Nick Blakey are all top 10 draft picks. That's four. Errol Goulden was the 32nd pick overall. He could have been selected earlier. Nobody did. So I get tired of that argument. I get tired of that argument. It's a weak argument because it's people that don't know the total overall statistics. Is you're going off the fact that they put a couple of guys in the top part of the draft. It's like the Western Bulldogs 2 years in a row probably had one of the top 5 draft picks because of father son situations. Collingwood has 2 top 30 draft pick kids in 2 seasons, one season where they made the finals and one season where they finished third from bottom, but they got the number one overall kid in Nick Dacos. So it's like, stop that argument. It's a weak argument. It doesn't make any sense. I understand how it looks, but there has to be more than just the tiny window of context. So oh, that was a good pickup for me.
What'd you do?
I picked up row bottom in the free agency because of James Jordan. You want to know how many points he has today?
Hey, do you break 100?
125.
Damn, son.
Except for Connor Rosie who has 230 because he's my captain. So that means he had a 115 today. Row bottom is my highest score.
That's certainly a
And
great
he's a and he's a, he,
pickup,
and he's a free agent. He's a free agent pickup for Jordan from Melbourne.
dude. You crush it with that. No doubt about that one. Damn.
He's just the tackling ability is one of those. I always forget tackles are like a 3 point. Every tackle is worth 3 points. So if you get 10 tackles, that's 30 points just there.
Damn. That's actually a pretty reasonable point allotment for tackles.
Well, that's the reason. That's the reason why sometimes some of the best fantasy players are guys that really, if you look at game impact, really don't make that big an impact.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's the craziest part about it. It's like guys like Liam Baker at one time was averaging like 85 points, but he was only getting like 15 or 16 disposals, but he was getting he was getting 6 tackles, couple of smothers and a goal. So it's like he's getting a ton of points on something that's in a game. It's great on the stat line, but it isn't always something that makes an impact on the game. Oh, Dane.
Yeah,
Probably not a bad idea
I
there.
don't think GWS is breaking 50 in this one. Shame. Yeah, but for the guys watching this still, go ahead check us out, Fourth Lawn Media, Instagram and Twitter. Let us know your thoughts on my most recent post. Is was this loss the nail in the coffin for Ken Hinkley? Sound off. Of course, in the YouTube comments as well, because I
Be
think
very
his
interested. I'd be very interested to see some of the Port, like I said, some of the Port Adelaide people. It is it is one of those that it's almost kind of like politics nowadays. Is that they're very vicious. They're very vicious people on both sides. There are people that are very, very, very anti Ken Hinkley, and there are some people that still believe that because of the injuries and everything that he had to deal with, that he got a bad rap. So I was not legitimately looking at this. I was not expecting this score. I was expecting this to be a much tight. I was expecting this to be a tighter
I
game.
was hoping for the 20
Like
point
I like
margin.
I was thinking 30 max. I was thinking that the GWS brought in some guys like Lockie Whitfield and stuff like that. I mean, they're legitimate players.
Hmm.
So for them to get spanked by nearly 70 is not something I was expecting.
Yeah, well, it'd be like that. Technically, it still falls in line with a 20 plus point stat margin. This is
Yep.
plus, just it's more plus plus plus, especially if they
Yep.
make this one through. Well, look at that. Hawthorne has the early lead on St. Kilda, 1-0. What a game.
That's funny. This might be after the siren by the time it goes through. Yep.
Well, at least it's over. Ugh.
It's
Well,
Siggy.
well, Donnie.
Wow.
Yay! The game's
Just
over.
wow.
um,
Like my
I will
pain is
say
over.
you're
My
welcome
pain
for
is
the
over.
percentage point boost. That's what this is.
I was not expecting that. Legitimately was not expecting that. I was expecting a much closer game. I'm a little disappointed. I mean, maybe it was I'm a combination of GWS just not having one of their better games and the Swans just having to just. I mean, they played one of their best games of the season in that one. They
That's for sure.
Yeah. So as of right now, again, Brisbane and Geelong still have to play, but Sydney is fourth right now on the live ladder.
Thanks, Trent. Really appreciate you joining us, my man. And I hope you have a great rest of your day slash evening slash morning slash wherever the hell you are. Have a good one. Always nice to have you guys around. Well, at least there was one good game we were able to watch tonight. It wasn't the main one.
Collingwood survive again.
Six
Can't
and
argue with
zero
that.
in one
They
score
keep
games,
doing it.
baby.
So
Shout out Collingwood, but yeah, well, really appreciate you guys hopping on the stream. You guys are awesome for tuning in. If you haven't already, make sure to follow us Twitter and Instagram at Fourth and Long Media. You find Coach Johnny at Coach Has 40. Of course, please go ahead and subscribe. We do weekly AFL breakdowns and all that fun sort of stuff. And Donnie always busts out some amazing interviews and AFLW content, or a little bit of both. With he has a little bit of overlap in there as well. So yeah, like I said, guys, hope you have a great rest of your evening, morning, afternoon, wherever the hell you guys are, and hopefully be here for the next breakdown or live stream. Probably the next live stream probably might be able to do one like maybe around 23. There's some good stuff there, or of course the finals as well. I would like to live stream at least one game each round of finals. So go be a good one. Subscribe. Stay tuned. Love you guys.